to the fire elemental guy, who is pretty blatantly a faggot, and what's his face? Starfire, Quatness? What a stupid Skype name. Talking to the blatant, like, could have been a dragon-blooded and is super bitter about it, assistant to the governor, who is definitely a dragon-blooded and a super asshole about it, person going home. But I hate splitting the party, so we're actually all back at the inn, which I think was the Lounging Stimata? Just taking a guess there. Where you guys saw the Abyssal, but then she left because I really don't want you guys to fight another Exalt yet. So she left, and you guys were there, but now you're there again to talk to each other about everything that happened and what you're going to do next. And you've already talked about everything that happened, so don't worry about that. Everybody knows everything that happened, and I'm going to link you to the session so you absolutely know what happened. Everybody, knows everything in there. That's common knowledge. You don't have to roll to know it, but if you do want to roll, it's int plus lore plus any excellency you use. And you're allowed to roll at any time for anything. You just have to warn me what you're rolling for, and you do that.
I still don't understand excellencies.
You do that. Wow, you are fucking retarded.
They're just dice-iders.
It's super easy. The first excellency, you pay 1 mote per dice you add to a roll. So and you can only add up to a certain amount. Which as lunars, because of my house rule, add up to attribute plus essence, which is what's your appearance? What's your appearance, Alia? Oh my god, it's not that hard. What's your
5, I was looking at the fucking sheet.
Your appearance is 5, and what's your essence? Your permanent essence score. Not your essence pools, because that would get a little ridiculous. But your permanent essence, what's your permanent essence? What's your permanent essence?
I think it's 2.
It's out of 10. Yeah. It's 2 or is it 3?
It'll be 2 or 3. One of those two.
It's 2. I didn't spend points on
it. Definitely a number larger than 1.
If you wanted to use your attribute, your excellency, to add to an appearance roll, anytime you're making an appearance roll, which is probably pretty frequently because I think appearance is a good attribute, anytime you're making an appearance roll, you could use your appearance excellency. And for every mote you spend, you get a dice. A piece of dice. No, a die. That's the singular of die. Dice. The singular of dice. And for every mote you spend, you get a die. So, say you would normally roll, what's your presence? What's your presence? Alia.
She's looking, bro. Give her a moment.
Okay. No, you're right. I'm being rude. I'm sorry. What's your presence, Alia? Take your time. We have 3. Your presence is 3. So you would normally roll your appearance, which is... Oh, shit, I just spilled some beer. You would normally roll your appearance, which is 5.
Still drinking?
Plus your presence, which is 3. Which is 3. So it would be 5 plus 3, which would be 8. And then you would say... Your dice cap adder, your dice adder cap is your attribute, which is 5 because it's presence, plus your essence, which is 2. So your normal dice pool is 8, but you're like, you know what? I really want to succeed on this roll. So you want to use your excellency, the first excellency, mind you, which is the only one you get for free. Normally I would give you all of them for free, but we're not playing 3E and we're not a bunch of savages. So you only get the first one for free and you have to buy the others. But anyway, 3rd edition is going to be great, by the way. You can add up to 7 dice, and the reason for that is because your attribute is 5 and your essence is 2, and your dice cap adder, because of my house rule, which you should be grateful for, because I'm a really fucking nice GM, is essence plus... No, I'm sorry, it's attribute plus essence. If it was essence plus attribute, that would be dumb. Even though it would come to the same score, it would sound dumb. It doesn't roll off the tongue as well. It's attribute plus essence. And your attribute is 5, and your essence is 2. So, your dice cap is 7. Which means, since you normally roll 7, you could roll a maximum of 15 on an attribute dice. Which is actually kind of shitty. You should have been a solar. Because lunars are mechanically garbage.
Oh. So,
basically, garbage.
In effect,
anyway,
I can use my excellency to, vogue like a JoJo character when I need extra points on an appearance roll.
If you really need to, push it, basically.
I will give you a 3-point stunt for proposing like a JoJo character. 3 points. That's 3 extra dice, plus like 4 motes and 1 willpower, and like I think all the other players have to give you a hand job after the game.
6 might steer.
Anyway,
Reach that
have
far.
I given out a 3-point stunt yet?
No.
Somebody answer me.
Nope,
No.
blues.
I have not. Okay.
Some ones and some twos, but that's it.
And by the way, I know for a fact that you're all talking about me in Everyday Magical Girls 2 hashtag. I know you are, because you're all in that channel and I'm not.
I'm
And I
not.
know you
I'm
are.
not in that
don't
channel.
think you're not.
Oh, wait.
Not everyone's in
God,
there,
shut
and
the
it's completely
fuck
empty.
up. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you if you're not in the channel.
That channel's still up.
Oh my god, it's almost
Yeah.
like the army. Anyway,
We're talking to you,
You
in
guys-
IMs.
are all in the. I'm trying to start the game, dude. Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm shutting.
Fucking let me
I'm
start the
shutting
game
up.
off. So anyway, you guys are all in the lounging Samada, which is the inn that you were in, and you saw the abyssal that walked through and was really pretty and tried to use hypnotic tongue technique, except the abyssal version, on Thune, but failed because she doesn't excellency it, and Solar's a bullshit. You guys are in that inn, and you've already talked to each other about everything that happened, so what do you do?
Well, first
I
off,
get annoyed.
go ahead.
I get annoyed because we had to stand near lava all day and order a drink.
Are we gonna be in the lobby, or are we gonna be in like a room or something?
Because
Also,
you asked for it. Because you asked, I will let you choose where you are. Are you in the lobby or are you in your room? This is your only chance for narrative control. Make good use of it.
Choose your fates.
Heaven
This
or
is
hell,
more
what's
directed from all the rest of you, because I think we'll
Lobby.
probably go along with where everyone else is.
So
I
Thune
don't
says
really
you're in the
care
lobby.
either.
I
Where are you,
imagine the
Vikia?
lobby.
Okay, in the lobby.
Are you in the lobby?
Sure.
Yeah, lobby sounds good.
Good. Okay. So Alia orders a drink. Alia roll appearance plus socialize. And if you don't have any socialize, you should have at least 2 dots. Well, no, not as a lunar. Never mind. Ignore me. You don't take an untrained penalty, and you have an attribute excellency. So never mind. Roll appearance plus socialize. For what kind of drink you get. What does everyone else do?
So that's 9d10.
No,
I don't
you
give a
want
shit. Just roll it.
bang E instead, I think. Or
Apo-
wait,
It's like
Exclamation E.
exclamation EX.
You have 4 socialize?
Why would I not have 4 socialize?
Good question. I agree.
She's a Luna. Luna's a slut.
No.
That's that thing.
No, I agree. That actually socialized is really good for her character concept. And I probably never once told her it was, but it totally is, so it's good that she has it. Oh.
I got 6
Yeah.
successes. None of them 10s.
You need the
get-
exclamation point if you want to do the normal roll.
You get basically a good drink, and no one does anything that you don't want them to do for a little while. Anyway,
Yeah,
you guys
no
have told
roofies.
each other about you guys have told each other about what the fire guy said and what the woman Exalt said. If you have any care about what she said, she's not an Exalt that way. She just should have been, and she's really bitter about it. Anyway, what do you do? I'll be quiet. I'm sorry.
Sheets.
Let's see.
There we go.
Well, I think we should go and talk with the other Court of Elementals in the area. Since the longer we ignore that, the more everyone else has to suffer.
In fact, they seem to be having some sort of death feud over whether it's winter or summer right now.
What time
That
is
might
it?
be.
I don't want to be walking around scavenger lands at night if I don't need to. So if it's nighttime, we should stay here tonight and do it in the
No,
morning.
it's fine
Oh,
at night.
from
It ain't
from
that
the
bad.
directions we were given before, it might even be like a day to get over there anyways. So we probably don't even want to leave until the next day anyway.
Well, they did say it was near the Shadowland, didn't they? Or it was on the Shadowland. So it's going to be easy as hell
No.
to find.
Yeah,
There
but that's another reason
used to
not to do it
be
at night.
there
What's
used to
wrong with
be
it
a
at night?
Shadowland there. There's another Shadowland somewhere else now.
Oh. Okay.
And the whole used to be a Shadowland thing is a point of intrigue too, I believe, because I thought you could only shrink them.
You can make them go away. It's just difficult and time
It
consuming.
requires
I was muted.
requires years of.
The
good
Shadowland is like 5 hours from the city, and the Ice Lady's Demens.
demand.
I'd say
It's not-
Demence.
Demens.
I didn't ask you how to pronounce it. The Demesne is not in the Shadowland, but it's close to it. And the Shadowland is about 5 hours, so the Demesne is about 5 hours. I'm not going to differentiate fucking 15 minutes. Like, it's close enough to the Shadowland, okay?
Yeah, let's
I
not
would
go
like
near
to
the
arrive
Shadowland
there
at night.
during the day.
Yes.
But it's like 5 or 6 p.m. when you guys are in the inn right now, so...
Well, I
It's
If you guys
totally
want
like
to just
nightfall.
skip to the
Okay.
next day and go out to talk to the elemental, we can do that. I'm not gonna make you like role play having a drink and shooting the shit if you don't actually have anything to say.
Yeah, let's
One
just
last
assume we
offer.
have drinks and eat food and go to bed if there's nothing else going on.
I suppose
Alright.
one last offer to Venom if she is absolutely certain she doesn't want to show that one abyssal off. But I know the answer is no, so
I thought the
It's made,
abyssal
but-
was gone.
yeah,
She
she
is
said
gone.
she was gonna leave.
She's
Woof,
already gone.
She's gone. She's gone. She's gone. Vega, do you sing to the people for the
Yeah,
evening
sure, why not?
show?
do it.
Do it.
In real
Do it
life,
now.
do it.
No.
We're all waiting for a song, Vega.
I
I
can't
will
even
throw
sound like
golems.
a robot
Um,
little girl, much
you-
less actually
Sing
sing.
for us.
I'll give you a
Sing
break.
For
for
sticking
us.
to your theme? We're not playing Fate, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Mark it down. Anyway, it's the next morning. Everyone wakes up at whatever time they wake up, which is up to
Bright
them.
and
they're
early to
free-
train.
Shut the fuck up! I'm not done.
Okay.
You don't get to interrupt me just because we're doing voice chat. Agath wakes up bright and early to train, but everyone else can wake up whenever they want. I'm sure probably Oren's character was like up all night doing night watch or something, and doesn't eat sleep and has like a 10-foot dick. I don't care. Point is, you all wake up at whatever time and do your things, and it's morning now, and you have the time to do what you need to do before you go do whatever it is you want to do, which is probably to go talk to the ice elemental people, I assume. But you can do whatever you want. You can go to Durance, Denin. What's the robot city?
The dance store.
Then Denan's-Dorf?
Denancer. You could go to Denancer if you want. I don't give a shit.
Actually
Sandbox.
asking what's her name, who I should remember, the not a wood aspect about the other elemental is probably a good thing too. Especially
I
if
could find
that
the
one's
name.
especially if it's been
Oh, she's on the
if it's
NPC
being
page.
supported by like
Only
the
NPC, but-
an cult of the
I'm
or
sorry.
something like that.
I haven't heard a word you said because I was looking at the NPC page. Her name is Exalted Lilium. What did you say you were going to ask her?
Just ask her about the ice elemental. Well, whatever she is. I mean, she's not gonna be ice, but
Please roll charisma plus investigation. Just to
One
see,
moment.
like, it's not to see what you get from her. It's to see if you get anything extra from her. You're gonna get information. She will give you information, but it's just to see if you're like just so good at fucking questions that you get extra. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just what I wanted to be sure of.
and
1,
3.
2, 3. 3 successes. Okay, you are apparently fucking good at questions. Well, actually, you're really not. 4 dice. What's wrong with you?
Not a high charisma, and I'm still gonna be raising
Yeah.
investigation and all that.
He's a ranger, he's all orcs kill
Wakari Mashita. Shh. Wakari Mashita. I understand. That's Japanese for I understand. In case you didn't know. She tells you about the ice court. They're led by Sleet-like Knives, who is obviously an air elemental. Ice aspected instead of wind aspected, because for some reason air gets ice and wind and lightning because they're fucking special. But
And then gravity.
did they get gravity?
They well, like lighter than air type like they
Oh, I was saying you
float
would think Earth would get
and stuff.
gravity.
I think Earth does.
They get it too.
They
So you would
get
think Earth would-
gravity, but Earth, like there's parts in the north where they're just like sky islands, and it's not cold because it's just that the land is light
Oh.
instead of cold. Stuff like that.
Yeah, okay, no, I understand. Like, yeah, floating islands is definitely air, but like, I thought you meant gravity in general. Like, I would let a
Oh, no, no,
gravity,
no.
I would let an Earth elemental like cast push 9 because of gravity.
I imagine like water elementals also gets like some access to ice as well. So
No, they don't get shit.
oh, okay.
Fuck water.
I would
is
like
what
to walk
Exalted
around.
says.
I
The
would like
Northwest.
to walk around the city asking people what they know about thorns, but in a discreet manner.
That
good
is
thing.
that is manipulation plus socialize? A higher of charisma or manipulation plus socialize. Anyway,
Actually,
Orin, from Lillian, you get that it's led by Sleep by Knives, an old air elemental, at least as old as 10,000 Cinders. That's his name, right?
Yep.
10,000. Yeah, it
Sounds
is.
about right.
Something cinders.
Anyway, Sleet like Knives. Well, it's on the NPC page. I put them on the NPC page so I wouldn't forget. Specifically, in case in an event like this where I'm less than lucid. But
I linked it for you.
it's led. It's. What did you just say?
I linked it for you in the chat.
I'm on the NPC page, you stupid
Yeah,
cunt.
I just linked it for the others.
For all of us.
Anyway, you
Jesus.
talk to Lilium and she tells you that it's led by Sleep by Knives. And I'm gonna be straight with you. Just ask me questions in a private chat and I will answer them, like up to 3 questions or something. Of what you specifically you want to know.
Oh
'Cause
no,
if I tell you stuff, I probably will leave stuff out that you actually want to know. But you've got 3 successes, which is above the average roll difficulty, so please just ask me questions.
okay.
Alia, again, also you can ask me questions because you rolled 9 fucking successes on talking to peasants.
She rolled 9 successes on 8 dice.
Yeah.
I think that's worth pointing
Yeah,
out.
she
It's
rolled.
exalted.
She rolled.
That is kind of
She rolled
insane.
9 successes on 8 dice, so you can ask me whatever the fuck you want, and like pretty much anything the peasants know, you can know. Like, the only thing you won't know is what peasants don't know. Like you're only limited by the fact that it's peasants, and they probably pull some information out of the loom magically because fuck. is specifically what's going on right now.
Actually,
I wanted to say on the NPC page, the mysterious tiger beast man is nothing, and you should overlook it, and it doesn't mean anything.
What does he have a picture?
Completely overlooked.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything at all. There's nothing special about the mysterious tiger beast man. He's just a bartender who happens to show up everywhere. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Elbow.
The sparkly eyes.
No, fuck off. He doesn't have sparkly eyes.
I do actually have one question that I'd like to
What
follow
is your
up
question?
on. Lillian mentioned earlier that they had done
She did.
something. They did not get along very well with the city god for some reason.
Did
and
she
I-
mention that?
Yeah, she
She-
said that Oren asked about what does the city god have to say, and Lillian kind of had the we're not on very good terms with him sort of thing response.
Jeez.
Like the impression is that
Um,
something happened and the city god shut themselves away from everything. Basically, is the impression
Yeah,
I'm
that-
getting.
That's closer to it. Oh, Elliot has asked me questions. Aware of what situation? Public opinion on the Mask of Winners is that he's a pretty cool guy. For taking care of thorns, and that he's probably not too bad, and they kind of wish he had done it to this city. The woman advertising for thorns spoke to pretty much everyone in the city, and generally just talking about how fucking awesome thorns is. And people know that Shadowlands are kind of bad and unhealthy, but they do let them see their deceased relatives and like ancestors.
Ancestor
So
cults.
it's kind of a mixed bag. Shadowlands are kind of a mixed bag to them. Like obviously they're bad
Okay,
because they kill
so-
crops, but it's good because they let them talk to their grandpas.
Okay, so I'm happy I did this because now I know exactly how bad of a propaganda issue we have.
Very much so. Very much so. And I just got another message.
Yeah, I started the first question, but as far as that, as far as the people in town are concerned, they're literally just kind of going, maybe it wouldn't be so bad to be oppressed by thorns and,
I'm sorry,
become the
oppressed
living
is a
undead.
term- Oppressed is a term that like the upper people use. Realistically, I mean, like zombies doing the field work for me, I can just stay home with my wife. That sounds pretty great. Really, I mean,
Zombies,
so I
very
have
good
to
at
have
framing.
a ghost as my superior. It's not that bad. And
least he has
plus,
some
if I
life
die, I can
experience.
become a ghost and maybe become a higher ranked as a ghost. It's not that bad. But now Sleet, Excelsi Lilium does not know. The realm is not officially supporting Sleet. She doesn't know. She says the realm is not officially supporting either Sleet or Cinders because they're fucking elementals who gives a shit about them.
They probably should, but okay. That's
They
that's
probably
good to know.
should. I'm totally in agreement with you. They probably should give a shit. But the governor is more like, who can pay me more?
I think that's
Yeah,
the thing. Like,
he's balancing them.
it says in the book, elementals they are potentially actually pretty important and strong, but no one gives them fucking the time of day because they're
Potentially.
they're
Maybe-
not
Well, like farmers
Maybe
do,
when
but
they-
like no one else.
in a
Maybe
cosmic
when they
sense.
become a dragon, they're potentially important and strong. But like as far as dragon bloods and realm people and immaculates are concerned, they're kind of not shit.
Yeah, no, every motherfucker shits on them. It's just like they're also kind of important.
They're lesser spirits, but it's a bad idea to treat them like
just talk amongst
that's
yourselves.
something that's bad.
I honestly have to go pee real quick. So
Another question.
Gotta use them to their fullest.
Yeah.
I bet
I
each
would
of
like
these
to know what
questions are-
what happened to the city god, though. That seems kind of important.
It is, and I'm getting the impression we're not going to get much from them on that. But one of the things the Fire Cinders guy, Thousand Cinders, was talking about us trying to get more information on that, and we can actually go back and ask him. It just didn't seem like the thing we wanted to try and do just right then. It seems like there's a long story there.
He was pretty excited, and I think he needs a day or two to calm down from the whole "oh fuck Solas" thing.
Yeah.
I am something. Whatever happened to the city god is probably.
We need to find that
I
out.
don't think the city god is willingly shutting himself away because he's got elemental courts literally feuding on his lawn, and he wouldn't be letting that shit go down, or she, as the case may be.
I want to
If
see the damn governor. He's been pretty elusive since we got here.
It's a thing where the governor's just the guy in charge, but the realm will send out a governor's assistant, who is a dragon blood, though not necessarily always. And
there was actually
and-
gets shit done.
And yeah, they are the important person.
Yeah, I think the impression I get is the governor's incompetent anyway, so why would we want to see him?
I get the impression that he's
There's-
incompetent, but I get the impression he's using that incompetence to fuck things up. I want to know exactly how.
And plus, you can try and it means you can still try and manipulate his position and all that still if you go and bug him. So I mean, it's not a bad thing to go and do.
must go forth and do friendliness to him.
Random acts of kindness.
I'm not sure if it's kind if you hit somebody with that many dice, but
It's all bashing damage. It takes a little while to loop over.
I hear if we use a bag of oranges, he won't bruise.
I don't know. I think a bag full of doorknobs is more effective.
I'd like to remind you, Thune, all of those improvised weapons.
I am strongly tempted. Like literally, if I want to not murder a mortal I beat up, I probably will grab something improvised just to hold myself back a little bit. It's
The
actually
good
not a
news
bad
is,
idea.
if you hit them with like a 2x4 or something, it might shatter before it kills them, at least.
You know,
The thing about bags of oranges not causing bruises is true. Eventually, I want to play a mob character in a game who travels from town to town as a fruit saleswoman.
The
I've heard
perfect
that
disguise.
soap in a sock also is fairly effective.
I don't want to ruin anybody's any roll they get on here, but there are rules for not doing as many dice of damage as you might otherwise be able to.
Oh, okay.
True. You can. There's a rule to do specifically just one, I think, damage at most, and then I think you can just voluntarily not use your strength too.
I want them to know that they were lucky.
But you'll hit them with that 2x4 and then throw it into orbit.
Yes. It's like I wasn't holding back. Now pick up your teeth and help us.
Look, just get the solar melee charm lets you punch through castles, and
I think I have that.
it's one of the solar hero style ones. The one lets you
Solar
do like
Hero's
50
got-
damage to something and ignore soak.
Yeah, the sledgehammer
it
fist
does
punch. I have that.
Does extra against objects, yeah.
I have that one.
So, what is a Gaith going to be? Or is it a Gaith or Agathe? Or
Agathe.
what's
is how I deal with
Agathe
it.
going to be doing while we're doing this? Is she going to
I feel
be
bad
wandering
for her
around?
not being productive. So she's off getting directions to the Shadowlands and the Winter Court thing.
Well, I can't say that even if you don't do stuff like that, I mean, just going around and talking to people is fine too. Just go and be a Gaith at them.
Yeah, she does.
Agatha at them.
She does that as well, inherently.
I figured she'd have her eyes glued to the windows of the weapon store.
Only if they're
She
good.
punches people.
Does the weapon store sell better fists?
Yeah.
You have to go to Alicania for that.
They have a bag of doorknobs there, Thune.
She actually is good with all the weapons. She prefers fists and things that go on fists.
Well, mostly I was saying that
Fist
because
is
it's their literal
Greatest
style
way of
weapon.
communication.
Yeah, I know.
Anything she misuses as a weapon is a style weapon.
Yeah, grabbing someone's unattuned dieclave counts.
Yep.
It's not really a dieclave, it's just more of a sharp chair leg.
So
At
that
that
adds
point,
an
yeah.
incentive to not get a weapon.
Yeah, the idea of an artifact improvised weapon would be amusing.
Just
Although,
smacking
silly.
somebody when you open a door, and then ripping the door off and continuing to smack them with it.
Well, friends, it took a bit longer than I thought because I made a sandwich with ranch on it. But it's okay.
We have been amusing
Um,
ourselves.
Attitude known about sleet. That's a good fucking question. Kind of too good.
Well, just
Pretty much the
what do
same
they
attitude.
think of her
I
accent?
assume you're talking about peasants. I assume you're talking about like Excelsi, what she thinks, and like what generally the public thinks. And they think that they wish the goddamn elementals could fucking come to a decision because they're tired of having fucking winter and summer at the same time.
I don't know, it sounds great to me.
Like, I don't think they really give a shit which one wins. They just really want somebody to win, you know?
And by and large, they don't really know or care about them,
Yeah.
aside from maybe, like, at her level, they probably know about them and whatnot, but everyone else is just kind of like, they're those two things ruining our town, why?
Yeah.
I would like to
You're
talk
right.
to the governor. We have not gotten to see the governor. I want to talk to the governor.
Excelsi, Lilium can get you an appointment for next week at 9 a.m. for 20 minutes.
Does she want to try and advance the schedule?
Well, I mean, if you ask for an appointment with the governor, that's the time you can get it next week, 9 a.m.
I would
I
like
know.
to speak to the governor right now.
Okay. She can't do that.
So,
Because-
I have a few dots
Oh,
of
fine,
bureaucracy, so I'll weigh in if I can. What
Well, I was
ways
gonna say,
can
what if
she interrupt whatever else he's doing, as in perhaps join in or whatever? Bring
If
him
we were in
his
person-
pillow or whatever if he's awake.
If we were in person, I would make that symbol with your fingers for money. But we're not in person, so I had to tell you that you could bribe her. Or well, you could bribe the governor. Lilium herself actually isn't that corrupt, since you have dots of bureaucracy. She isn't that corrupt herself, but the governor is.
Yeah.
So-
I don't
Unless
want to waste my
I'm-
money, so is there a way I can put the charm on Lilium and be like, hey, I'd really appreciate it if you let me see the governor now.
you might want to be putting the charm
Unfortunately-
on the governor, actually.
Yeah, you would need to
You
put
got
the
enough
charm on
votes
the
for
governor
that.
herself. Lilium
Yeah, I
can't actually
mean,
do much herself.
I'm gonna need to
She's a glorified secretary.
get the governor's attention once I'm in the room with him, but I need to get in the room with him first.
No, just
Oh,
pheromones.
Let's see if dealing with this elemental problem would get us a quick audience as a congratulation.
It totally
Sure.
would.
Yeah.
You could
If
also
we can make it stop
catch him while he's out
snowing
hunting,
on their
but-
desert.
While all this shit is going on, Agatha's just, like, staring at the entire group with the expression that blatantly reads, "Do you want me to just punch a desk and get us to see the governor?"
You could
If
always
he
walk in
considers
there.
this course of action.
So, is there any information on what happened to the city god, or are we going to have to
Oh,
uncover
God.
further plot points to find out about
I
that?
have messages. When you ask people, like, you don't even have to roll for this. When you ask people, they're really, really awkward about talking about her. But you can go see her in the shrine, like, anytime you want. Like, she's...
That's actually
Oh,
more
fuck it, let's
positive
do
than
that
I
then.
thought.
Yeah, let's go speak to the city god.
Yeah, I'd
Alright.
like to do that before we leave. Or before we get kicked out of town for accosting the mayor.
break into the governor's office.
Sure.
No,
Ultimately-
Agatha will get kicked out. The rest of us will kind of quietly shuffle out the back entrance before they notice we're
Okay.
together.
I can say
I
that
have
if
to-
we're in the temple, then we might have enough visible alibis, and we don't know what she was doing. We don't know why.
We're completely
If you go-
unconnected to that glowing light.
I'm gonna
from it.
presume that everyone's cool with going to... Vega, are you cool with going to see the city god?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Agatha will
I'm
get
gonna presume
convinced.
then that since the quietest member of the party at the moment is cool with going to see the city god, that everyone is. So we go to see the city god, and the temple it's modest as far as temples go, but as far as the city goes, it's probably the most extravagant building. There are pretty clear like stained glass windows. There's some stained glass windows to like Sol and Luna, of course. There's one particular that's to all the maidens, but the rest of them seem dedicated to local gods. Most of which you don't recognize the symbolism for, but one of which is probably the city god. And as you go inside, there are some people praying and priests leading them and such. But there is a priest hanging around, and it's a big cathedral. Like If you've ever been in like the Roma Gothica in Italy, it's a big fucking church. It's a big fucking Gothic church. Well, no, it's not Gothic because that's abyssal. It's a big fucking church. It's an Oriental shrine church thing, whatever. It's exalted. But you go in, and there is a priest not currently leading any prayer or anything, and he can attend you if you have questions. That's it. Go ahead.
I walk up to the priest, introduce us, and say we would like to speak to the city god.
He
Well,
nods
it's
and
worth a
says,
try.
as would many these days, I can lead you in prayer, but she is not to be disturbed.
We have heard tell that something happened in the past that might have led to this, but the townsfolk are hesitant to speak of it.
This, he says, I'm not sure what you mean. The city god is perfectly healthy and definitely not sick.
Ah, I can
see.
see that they're very healthy indeed, yes.
Yes, of course.
If you want to see if he's lying, you can roll charisma plus socialize.
I'm working on the assumption that he's assuming he's being he doesn't want to say such things in the very temple of his own god, and is possibly being watched and or worried about the response, and is saying that so that we know how we should act around them.
To be honest, it's more like
Oh, damn it, my
it's
luck's
more
run
like
out.
he knows he's sick, but it's really not his place to like tell random people that she's sick.
Yeah.
Especially not the townsfolk, because that would be bad. And they just kind of all go around pretending that she's not sick and that everything is fine, in the hopes that she'll become fine by them believing that she's fine. Kind of like clap if you believe fairies exist.
Yeah. Except it's very much a real thing. Well, like, then again, in Peter Pan, that was a real thing too, so hey.
I made a ham sandwich with ranch that's really fucking good.
Were we given, like, an operating budget for this mission by the service?
Yeah, 0. You don't have any fucking, like, well,
We're
Budget?
we're,
Money we
we're a
actually
group
have
of
on.
exalts. We can realistically, like, spend a week and become rich if we just really wanted to.
Okay, but I was just
Plus
gonna
you're in the
drop
river
a few
province.
coins in their donation bowl right now if we had any money to grease the wheels a little. This church
I
is
think
like
I'm the
what you do.
only one
can-
who has more than, like, 1 in resources. And that's
you can
because
do
I
that
have
if
2.
you have, like, yeah, I
That's
was gonna say,
money.
if you have, like, 2 dots in resources, you could, like, drop some money in their donation box. But, like that's something that you can narratively say if you spent the creation dots on dots for resources. If you have resources, you're more than welcome to go drop the dots in the donation box, and they will be like, "Hey, whoa, fucking big spender
I'll-
here."
I'll get a resource ready and I'll pull a
whole dot of
Agatha
resource?
over.
Yeah, I check
Well,
my
I've
I
got
check
2.
my
I can
pouch.
throw in 1 without any issue.
I check
and
my
I go and
pouch,
grab
frustrated
Agatha and point out, so perhaps you could make a prayer yourself.
Oh yeah, make a prayer, you bitch.
I'm not a,
Bitch thing. You have to
And,
write an actual prayer, by the
and-
way.
And I'll provide at least that 1 dot of resources to at least make it that little bit easier. But I'm trying to
Yeah.
not become penniless and give all 2 that I have.
well,
I'll
I
be
didn't
honest.
mean a
and-
whole dot of resources. I meant just
don't
a
want
few
you to
fucking
even-
coins.
Yeah,
that's not
that's
gonna get you
that's
anywhere.
that's like the level of. So it
I
works
will- I
like
will-
a few
I'll be honest
coins is
with you and tell you
resources
that, like,
1.
1 dot of resource, like, okay, she's stick to the point that, like, spending a dot of resource to ease the prayer is a waste of a background, so please don't do it.
Oh no, I don't mean spending a background. I just mean, like, if I have resources 2, I've got, like, resources 1 is pocket money, is my understanding.
Sort of. You
Like,
don't
if
need
I
to
spent a
spend
Try
resource
and
anything.
combine our resource dots to have enough between us that we could
Look,
just.
we just put some money in there. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
If you
We've
put
got
some
some
money in
money
it,
to
that's fine.
spare.
Don't pray to the city god.
No, we're not.
Just strong arm the dude and get through him and go get him to tell you where she is. Just roll charisma plus presence. Whoever wants to try and strong arm him, just roll charisma plus presence. I will not make you
You
sit
want-
here on this.
Well, that's nicely.
That's a stunt. That's a 1 dice stunt. Charisma
Eva.
plus presence on the priest. I'm sorry.
Eva,
Lauren, go ahead.
look at them with puppy dog eyes and ask them if they can pretty please let you meet the city god.
Yeah,
4
this is a
successes.
situation where we just.
You basically
That's actually
bash
probably a
his
roll.
mind with your own ego.
Nope, that's
and,
the wrong
and,
roll.
and-
There we go.
oh,
I am.
goodness. You've all
I am
basically
rather
just turned his
insistent.
mind into mush as far as exaltation, solar presence, social combat is concerned. He's
Oh, we all
fucked.
friendlied him to death.
You all give him a bright fucking white-toothed smile, and he tells you, listen to me. He tells you that the city god can be found in a particular. Motherfucker, stop rolling! Stop rolling dice. You're done. Orin, just roll. Orin, roll charisma plus presence to get it out of the fucking way. Orin, go ahead.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Waiting on you. Okay, since you all have ridiculously good rolls tonight, he drops dead after telling you that we're fucking. No, in all
No,
honesty though, he can't really compete with your wonderful, definitely not for your own agenda desires to see the city god. And
It should have been 2, by the way, not 7. But
whatever.
It's not for our own agenda. Our agenda is to fix the fucking town.
Anyway, he tells you that you can find the city god in a particular room, which he describes to you and tells you the directions to. And he says that he would really prefer that you not go see her because she's busy, and that people really aren't supposed to go see her, but there's no actual rule preventing you from doing so. But he really stresses that he really doesn't want you to give her any more stress than she already has.
We can
But
be a
he'll
lot
let-
more gentle with her than you.
And he tells you the directions to the room to go to see her where she stays and does her god stuff.
after a moment, given like a little bit of time away from him, Rin can explain, or Falcon can explain about sanctums, I guess, a little bit, if necessary. If anybody doesn't know what those are.
This is sort of
Before
Eva
we-
totally needs this explained. I mean, she has no experience with this kind of stuff. I say,
He's
nudging
not in
her.
a sanctum. This whole building is a sanctum.
Oh wow, that's actually
Before we
really
finish
major.
talking to the priest, I asked him, like, define busy, like, what's so wrong with her? If it's something, like, level with us here. If it's that serious, we'll leave her be.
Don't fuck yourself out of a quest.
He's
Amelia,
going to be like, no, you can't see her.
Just-
It's really
just go
bad.
talk to her.
But we can.
Just go talk.
Alia, we're all busy going probably to see the city god behind your back when you're doing this.
I have a
Let's do it.
I have a description that I've been working on for like 3 weeks for the city god. Go fucking see the city god.
I try to be reasonable with the NPCs.
Well, you're an exalt. You should stop
We
being
don't need to be
reasonable.
reasonable.
You're being reasonable.
Oh,
I-
Reasonable
I-
needs to keep up with us.
I'm
Well, we might have had
We
just
broke
enough
that up.
successes to make him think that we're not going to be the horrible, horrible stress-adding factor that we're going to inevitably be for this poor, poor city god.
We're here to help her.
We're here to help the city
Anyway,
god.
you
We're
guys
gonna make
know-
all our problems go away.
Yeah, I know it is quite major. There's a reason for that. Like, this whole building is the god's sanctum. Like, just Like, if any of you have a charm that says you know when you've entered a sanctum, you fucking entered a sanctum. The building is a sanctum. But anyway, you make your way to the room where the city god stays, and let me talk this out. Like, I need to focus on this. It's kind of serious. You enter a room of pure beauty. You can pretty much tell that this room had to have been made by solars, because even walking in, you can feel the glory of the unconquered sun shining through the beautiful stained glass window that lets light into the room. Every piece of marble was carved by a perfect artisan who dedicated every chip of his chisel to the unconquered sun's glory. It's a very beautiful room, to put it simply. And in the corner, you see the only thing that seems to ruin the beauty of the room, which is a woman, a sickly-looking, thin woman, in a plain white nightgown and overly long black hair, as if she hasn't had it cut in years. Just crying in the corner, curled up in the fetal position, and then sobbing into her own arms in the corner.
All right.
Go ahead.
So Falcon heads in, of course. He'll actually pause slightly at the situation, and maybe look at the sun in the window and reach out a hand towards it for a moment, and sigh and turn and head slightly over there, but just kind of look down at himself and know that this isn't what he's good at dealing with, and look pleadingly at the others. He's ready to help, but
Well, gee, now I do feel a little bad. and I did make 2 successes at compassion, so I do stop.
Is there
Oh, yeah,
some
you're saying.
perception or intelligence check I can do to, like, see if there's anything visually wrong with her that you didn't mention? And also, I have 4 compassion. What should I be doing with that?
Oh God, roll your compassion. Yeah, absolutely. Roll your
I'm
compassion.
rolling mine too.
Is compassion yeah, if anyone's compassion is their primary virtue, please roll it.
It isn't mine.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
wanted to because I
It is in
felt
fact
it
my
was the most.
primary virtue.
If it's your primary virtue, roll it, and any success you gain is limit.
also I thought that's only if we didn't work towards our virtue. Like, if we ignored her, then we would, or if it's specifically like our limit.
You are correct, Oren.
Like, can
But
we ignore it though?
you will
This is a
find
pretty
out.
striking sight for a god.
You will find out
You-
for a specific reason. You do gain these successes as limit. You will find out. But otherwise, you are correct. Normally,
She's just very emotional god.
Normally, if you didn't work towards it, well, congratulations, Starfire. You're a heartless bitch. But Alia, you gain a point
I'm a
of limit.
monster. Monster.
Yep, I already
Star,
added the
quick,
limit in
shine a
anything
flashlight
up
on her.
If I do
and
gain a
it's
limit
like-
for this, for
But-
clarity.
Anyway,
Oh, that's a lot of limit.
Take a shot at
yes,
its crown there.
what could you roll if you could to see if there's something wrong with beyond what I said? Perception plus occult. If anyone wants to try and see what's wrong with her beyond what I've described, like without
Yeah,
actually
actually,
talking
yes.
to her.
No, I think I'm just gonna go up and actually go talk to her. Just
Go ahead. Yeah.
kneel
Actually, go ahead,
down,
Vega. What do you have to say?
be quiet, polite, just ask, "Well, are you okay? What's wrong?"
Very, very alchemical of you. God, Alia, you can tell there is almost certainly, like, she's not. Rather than being able to tell that she is sick, it's strange, but you can tell that she isn't when she should be. If that makes sense. She should be sick, but she's not, which is the strange thing. Vega, when you talk to her, the response you get is a kind of wail. pretty much all she can do is cry in your direction.
I imagine Orange is like a fuckload.
Or I will type to you what you have learned. Anyway, Vega, you get a whale in return to your speech. She doesn't seem to be able to be capable of responding to you in an understandable way. She only speaks the language of sadness and sorrow and heartbreak.
Well, I'm taken aback, but there's not much I can do about it.
Beep boop robot doesn't understand tears.
I've still got enough. I need to gain a few points of clarity before that starts actually happening.
She's only like one clarity. Calm down there.
Obviously, she needs a performance. Also, there's a good chance that like I'll put take off a jacket and set it on her shoulders or some stuff like that maybe, but it'll just
maybe
I'll wait for you to say whatever he learns.
You can pretty much blatantly tell with your 6 fucking successes that she's heavily weakened, but not because of a lack of worship or anything. She's pretty much abandoned her duties, and she should be a lot stronger. She's operating at Essence 2 when she should be operating at Essence 6.
She's actively turning away from her motivation?
Yes.
Oh wow.
She's fucked up. Her motivation is to run the city and make it beautiful and grow, and she is pretty much choosing to cry in a corner. Fucked up.
Can the sight of my amazing beauty reinvigorate her at all?
It might. I will say that Falcon will go
I
over
don't want to
and
say no because that's a bad GM thing to do. Is just say no, but no.
Fair enough.
No, the answer is no.
you might be.
Sorry.
Here's what you could probably ask though: is to try and temporarily distract her for a bit or something. But for her to do what she's doing is amazing. In a bad way, but amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna throw out a suggestion here. Anybody with low compassion or that doesn't have any skills that can help here should maybe wait outside.
Agathe has low compassion, but since she got those 2 fucking successes for a goddamn heart of flint, literally a heart of flint.
She feels really bad about this.
Yeah, she's backed off. She's just kind of silently fixing up the nice parts of the room in the opposite direction. Just trying not to look in her direction.
Okay.
But really,
Falcon will go ahead and take off his jacket and set it over her and be all plaintive and let's see. My lady, please don't do this to yourself.
It's pretty blatantly obvious. She is
What's
taken
the
care
issue?
of. She's fed and she's clothed and she's not filthy or anything. And it's pretty clear that she's choosing to sit in this corner. That's just not out of lack of attention from her priests or her people.
What would drive you to such lengths?
There's ambrosia in the no, I'm sorry, there's not ambrosia because you're a bunch of fucking power gamers. But she gets prayer, is what I'm saying.
Just after we finish asking about star metal. Yeah, ambrosia.
She gets prayer, is what I'm saying. But,
and I'm not gonna steal from a fucking weeping god.
If you want to get her to answer, you do kind of have to roll charisma plus presence to
Could I maybe use
manipulation
investigation?
Yeah.
She's not
if you want to
really
roll
interrogative all that much, but it is
investigation
questioning.
plus a gold. Yeah, if you want to use investigation, you can. Manipulation or charisma, I don't care. Or appearance,
It's the same thing.
I don't care.
Same thing for all of them. So.
I don't really care which one you use. All
I'll
of them
go ahead
apply.
and do some
Anyone
more,
can roll. Just make a little stunt if you want a stunt bonus. For what you ask her, or how beautiful you are while you do so, or how you fix your idol uniform, or I don't know how you just how thick your cum is as you jizz on her face. I don't care. Make a stunt.
I just lean down next to her and gently place my hand on her shoulder and speak softly and kindly. Are you okay? Is there anything we can do for you? And I will roll appearance plus presence for that. Just let me
That
check
is
my
2
presence.
dots.
Nice.
Take a 2 dice dot for that. Hell yeah. Orin, would you like the stunt? Or
I've
any of our
I've
other
already
social
done the
characters?
code and the talking, but
Oh, you
I'm
have.
just gonna go ahead and roll. So
Take 1 dice down then, because
okay,
you did mention. Just take it. Take it.
and
Get into your edgewise after you two finish up.
God bless her restoration. 3 successes. 3
Oh,
successes.
wow, that was shit.
That's a shitty roll.
I'll say that Falcon is going to at least be in that 1 to 3 moat anima range. So ever so slightly
Cast
glitter.
mark glowing, right? Cast mark glittering.
Glittering.
I think it's just glitter. Like you have to look at it
That's right.
just the right angle to even notice it still, but yeah.
That's right. That's
She's a
correct.
god, she can manage it.
Yeah. That's as much as
Really,
a
what you
night
should
cast
do
like him
play
is
up
like
the cast mark rather than playing it down.
This is pretty crazy for a night cast, yeah.
yeah. For my character, this is him going like that extra
Like-
step.
But your combined efforts seem to get her to stop staring at the wall and crying about something she can't change. And she rolls over to lay on her back and looks between the two of you and says, "They're all dying. Why bother?"
Because there is ever always hope.
Before I start spouting cliches like one member of the party, I, still speaking softly, ask, what's all dying?
The people, the mortals, I can't save them. Why am I even here? It's all pointless. They're going to kill us all.
Which they
Please to be less mysterious with your pronouns.
It's, who specifically is trying to kill us all?
The fairies! Can't you see them? They're everywhere, coming from the walls.
Wait, the Fae?
What do I roll to look for fairies?
This is important.
Perception plus awareness.
I haven't
I'll
seen
say
any
that-
fairies, I say.
How would you know? You're a fucking punch, Exalt.
Yeah, but I've been outside, punched in the
Fair, that's
air.
Would it be safe to say that Rin probably has like a small bit of cold iron he could reasonably hand out or hold out at this point as a prop of sorts?
Isn't your sword cold iron?
Don't you have like a trillion
His boots
multi
are.
weapons?
Well, fucking kick her in the face then.
What?
So are there any
Face that, it's
fairies?
cold iron, you bitch! Star, I can honestly tell you that you don't see any fairies.
Well, we
Okay,
have to
so
be
are you
sure.
actually going to give this weeping goddess your shoes?
That's kind of the point I'm trying to
That's a
not
sort of
do, as
marriage
that
Just
seems
nudge her
isn't it?
over.
a
It's a
bad
marriage
thing.
proposal, right? I mean,
But in all honesty, even a single success on a perception awareness roll tells you that you can't see any fairies, and you haven't seen any on your way here. As far
Oh.
as you know, unless they're really, really well disguised.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
more
so
just
not-
to reassure her that, hey, there's cold iron here. The fairies are... Maybe that'll help her think the fairies are going away,
there isn't a
basically.
single fairy anywhere near here.
Not
sure of
seeing them,
that.
though, doesn't mean they're not here. I mean, they're fairies, they're tricky fuckers.
Don't feed into her paranoia, you idiot! God.
I didn't say that in character. I would have clarified if I said that in character.
Don't see any, but that doesn't mean there's not any fairies. They're probably everywhere. In fact, I think I'm just gonna cry with you. Move over.
I will make it clear if I am saying something in character. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh god.
You know, technically she could try and get down right next to her and just like cry harder, even.
Just cuddle with her. Make
Oh,
a
that too.
make a fucking charisma roll. Just cuddle with her. Let's see if that
Actually,
fixes it.
Meadow, hugs.
But anyway, no.
She needs a hug.
Well, I
you're
have
right,
nothing
she
to make her
does.
happy. She says we have plenty of what they hate. It doesn't matter. They're everywhere. They're never going to go away. They've been drawn here. They're all dying. They're all going to die. I've tried.
What's drawing them here?
She starts sobbing horribly, and as she does so, you can see the walls start coming into the room. They start turning into what looks like people. They're turning into people. The walls are just kind of like vomiting humans onto the floor who are writhing and dying and covered in boils and their own vomit, and generally look like they're dying of a horrible plague.
Guys, I think
Okay.
it's time to go.
Agatha is half squicked out and half. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! I've been cleaning.
At that point,
Last half
he's
hour.
gonna actively like hug and try and pet her hair and all the helping, panicked, calming type stuff.
Are you gonna tell her
Then
it's
leaves the fucking room.
You know,
actually,
say like calm,
running,
be
you
at
actually
peace.
can activate that to not see these things, but they're not like actively violently shaping you. So, if you're trying to tell her everything is okay,
No,
it's
not
gonna-
that everything is okay, but to be at peace and to calm.
I see.
You don't be at peace in a room full of pus-dripping bodies.
It's still manipulation plus whatever like presence or socialize or performance or whatever your highest social ability is would be manipulation because you're lying to her.
That's why I'm saying, not saying that everything's fine. He's not trying to tell her that everything's fine.
Oh, okay.
He's
Well,
trying to calm her, but he's not trying to tell her everything's fine. That's why he was looking to the others over there.
your highest mental ability plus investigation. Anybody who wants to make a roll can give you some hints as to what's got her freaked out. If anybody feels like rolling some d10.
I would like to drop some dice.
Roll some dice, Starfire.
I got.
It was highest
Roll them or you're
plus
fired.
investigation. Oh yes,
Any-
all the investigation. Oh, I
The
actually have
highest of your
investigation.
mental ability plus investigation. Highest mental ability you have. Wits,
I'm gonna
intelligence,
drop.
I don't.
Is anything
You have to
happening
touch
in the
it.
corridor
Wait.
outside the room?
You have to stunt whatever you're gonna try to do for me to let you use any ability. You have to stunt it.
Is anything happening outside the room? Because I am outside the room.
That is a loaded fucking question, because, like, the lover is trying to take over the north. The first of her second line is trying to find a foothold in the south. There are Siaka eating people in the west. There's tons happening outside the room, Alia. I can't believe you
Okay,
asked.
is anything happening in the corridor immediately outside that room?
Yes!
I'm gonna make
Oh
my
my
own
god, there are mice running
investigation
through
roll.
the ceiling. There are people walking beside. There are people praying in the other room.
Just
They're having a
intelligence plus
fucking
investigation.
service.
Actually, that is good if it's. Is it actually limited to just the one room and not the rest of the sanctum?
That's correct, yes. That is correct. I can give you that.
That's the type of information I needed.
Yes, there are only people falling out of the walls and dying of the Great Plague or the Great Contagion in your room. That is correct. Everybody else is having service.
I'm gonna wait out there for a minute.
Abandoning her. Yes.
What a
Yes.
monster!
Let the compassion flow through
it's
you.
not my primary one, fucker!
It's my primary one, but I have the
Actually,
PTSD from
If
Thorns.
you do want to leave, go ahead and roll conviction.
Oh god.
Actually, roll
Okay.
either succeed on conviction or fail on valor. Your choice.
Oh, I've got
You can roll
a
either.
3 in both, so
You're
Should
fine.
I roll those two to make sure I was okay to leave?
While I'm hugging the goddess, I'm racking my brains for seeing if there's if what's happening to the bodies is any sort of Fey-related plague or other malady that's been associated with them. I mean, are we talking like weird wild mutation bullshit here, or just
I'm
boils
sorry.
and sores?
Like
Did you say brains?
shapeless spheres?
Like multiple brains?
No, I only have one
Like, are
brain.
you using an intelligence excellency?
Yes, actually.
Then you do have multiple brains. You have a reptilian secondary brain. That's because levers are bullshit. Is the reason. Yeah, you have the intelligence excellency.
I have the intelligence excellency.
Are you going for sorcery?
I am in fact going for sorcery. Yes, I've been accused to do that
Oh my-
repeatedly.
Good.
How come you're not a border collie? Oh, successes. 2 successes, 4 successes. Oh, you succeeded on your valor. You have to stay in the room, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, oh god, this is really
You're
gross.
punching the pus.
I kick
still
one
need
aside.
to-
These don't actually count, right? Like their ghosts aren't going to come out of Shadowland mad at me. I mumble this
No.
as I do it.
I still need you to tell me if I'm supposed to do the conviction or valor roll to be not in the.
Yes, pick one to roll. You have to succeed at conviction or fail at valor to roll. So pick one. If you have high conviction, pick that. If you have low valor, pick that.
They're the same.
Nom, nom, nom.
I guess I didn't leave the fucking room.
Second.
We're not getting out of this room. We're gonna help this
This
god
is-
or starve to death trying.
I'm supposed to have a Yungling, but unfortunately I have Miller Light. It's supposed to be Yungling. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, the point. Oh, Vega, what are you doing?
I was
Been
just
quiet.
just rolling my own intelligence plus investigation to see if I could think of something
Did
that might
you?
be going on.
Oh my god, you did. I'm so sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
trying not to ignore anybody. I know I'm really smashed. I'm really trying to not ignore anybody.
I don't
I
know.
went out a
You
lot.
can't be too smashed. I mean, you can still find your beer, and that's kind of the dividing line.
Well, I just looked at. Okay, no. I thought I've been drinking Yingling this whole time, but apparently I've been drinking Miller Lite. Like, I
That
thought I
is
was
a
nursing-
slight difference, yes.
I'm nursing
Yes, it
Miller
is.
Lite, so that's a kind of a problem. And apparently I've had 6 beers, and I thought
Which
I've
one
only
of
had
those
like
is
3.
stronger?
Neither. It doesn't matter. They're both like basically the same thing. But Yingling is much smoother. Let me tell you, Miller Lite is disgusting. But anyway,
Yingling is an actual
Can I
beer.
do like? Can I do like perception? Can I do like intelligence and medicine to see if I can see, like specifically
it's
what
not
the
a
bodies
physical
have?
illness. It is not a physical. Oh, no. No. If you use perception plus medicine, actually, it's a 0 success required roll, so it's a trivial roll. They aren't real, so you can't use medicine on them. Bada bing, bada boom.
They aren't real.
They aren't real. They flat
Okay,
out.
but-
If you have any shaping defense, you know like intrinsically that you could use the shaping defense against this, and you have the option to do so. But like it's not a violent shaping, so like I mean like you don't have to if you don't want to.
I'm
like,
getting
nothing-
expression of her fears kind of aspect of this more so than anything else.
Yes, it is it is a god charm. It's not a fair folk charm. That should be
But, like-
blatantly obvious to anyone with like one occult dot. It's not fair folk.
That's actually not
Okay.
everyone here.
But
She
can
is
I still
causing
see?
not fair folk.
Would it still be beneficial to see what she thinks the people are getting?
A really bad disease.
Okay.
So
can't-
it is actually consistent. I mean, it's not just like dying by whatever
It's not
means
just
she can think of.
representative it's not just representative of disease in general. It is definitely representative of a single disease.
Okay, then can I use intelligence plus medicine or something to see if I know what the disease is based on the symptoms the bodies are presenting?
No. You cannot. Well,
Then why the fuck did I take
Well,
medicine?
well, I mean, they're you can't like feel pulses and stuff on them. That is gonna actually
It's-
make it really difficult.
it's a 0 success required roll to know that it's Well, I'm sorry. It's a trivial role to know that it's a horrifying. It's like the Black fucking Plague. It's the Great Contagion. Oh, Sealy, just so you all know, it's the fucking Great Contagion. And there's no way to know that I Sealy, but oh, Sealy, you should know it's the Great fucking Contagion. She's terrified. She's fucked up because of that. But like, God, what was it? What did you? Star from Vega. What did you roll for? Because you guys got me distracted. Now I don't remember.
You told us to roll
Highest
perception
principal
plus
sophistication.
to figure out what was triggering your specific fears or something like that.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I think we rolled for.
Okay, then let me tell you, and stop distracting me, Alia and Orin, you bitch. Is plural. The point is, what's got her fucked up is that clearly something awful happened here. The both of you can tell us something truly horrible happened here. Vega, the fact that you're so used to autochthonia and being able to scientifically discover any disease and eventually eliminate it has kind of limited you, so that it was a disease that they couldn't eliminate. Whereas Starf, a little bit more. It was probably a disease with a supernatural aspect, because a normal disease that devastated her people would just make her weaker. A truly awful disease is the only thing that could leave her in this kind of state as a god. Like, the fact that you don't really understand gods and you more understand divine ministers has kind of limited you here. Understand?
Yeah, I pretty much understand. I have no actual clue what's going on.
I'm just
Also-
explaining the fact that you got 2 successes less than him. If you had more than him, then it would be different. But
Yeah.
And as a side thought, she is a city god with a Shadowland like growing within her realm of influence, probably too.
yeah.
I'm sure
That
that's
can't
not
be
helping.
good for her.
But now you can tell Starf and Vega. I mean, you can both tell that something like a disease that she couldn't do anything about fucked her up, because it probably obliterated most of her worshippers. And Starf, you can pretty much tell that it was definitely a supernatural disease and not just like a random plague that rolled through. Because if it was just a random plague that rolled through, she would have just gotten like demoted or something. She's fucked up.
Is there anything we can do to tell how long she's been like this?
Words right out of my mouth.
Absolutely, there is. If you have even a dot of a cult, you can tell she's been fucked up for a very long time. And only the efforts of her own priests have stopped it from stopped her from being noticed by the celestial bureaucracy. Like, they've been putting in work. But she has been fucked up for a very long time. Around 700 years.
Oh, so this isn't caused
give or
by
take
the Shadowland that's falling.
This is really long PTSD. Okay.
This is turbo PTSD.
I must have a lot of
this is like-
respect for the dedication and devotion of her priesthood, considering they're keeping it up for this long.
Very much
Like,
so, yes.
sort of.
They have
Yeah.
Like,
wasted
they
their
managed to
time.
fucking hide her condition, but they haven't exactly done a lot to solve it.
Yeah,
That they managed to hide it
they've been putting
alone
all their
is
efforts
the-
towards not getting her demoted and keeping the city from being destroyed, basically, without the protection of
Yeah.
a god. Kind of impressive, actually.
Doing anything
Yeah.
for 700 years, even fucking up majorly, is a pretty impressive feat.
I'm probably impressed by this because it essentially means that the humans are running things, which is all well and good.
Very much so. Yes, that's a good point there. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good chemical stuff. Good job.
I got the nervous with
Get more
appreciation.
experience for that, because that's fucking awesome. That's really alchemical. You're more alchemical than some of these people are solar, let me tell you. And I mean, Dune is basically a limo. Basically.
Well,
Soon has a solar who wants to be a DB.
I mean, she's basically... Liminals are the dead ones, right?
No, liminals are the They're like the individual chosen ones of gods, like
No,
of random ones.
stupid. That's exigent. Gosh, liminals are okay. It's liminals and Jutimians, and like one of them is the one that's like Promethean but an exalted, and the other one is like we wish we were sidereals, but we're somehow better than sidereals for some reason.
I think liminals
I
are
don't
the
even know where
Prometheans
I
and
am
Detimians are the pseudo-sidereals.
I think you're right.
That sounds.
I
right.
know for a dead fact that exogens are the ones that any god can make, though. I know for a dead fact. No, I'm sorry, not a dead fact. That would be a bad fact. 100%. I know 100% that exogens are the god ones.
I feel like we've gotten all the information we're going to just by investigating this goddess in the room. Like, we'd learn more if we took what we know to the priest and get him to talk about it.
Yeah, very much so. At this point, the only thing I think that me and Star are trying to do is trying to act. We're not trying. We're trying to like reassure her or make her feel at
I'll be
least a little
honest,
better. But
You're
it's
gonna
not
be here
gonna
all
work.
night trying to make her feel better. You're correct.
Yeah.
I don't
She's
wanna
got
waste
like millennium-long PTSD. You're
Yeah.
not that good of a therapist.
But you have found out a lot more than I expected you to find out just from the goddess. So, I mean, moving on is probably fine.
Alright.
Okay,
Yeah.
if everybody is okay with it, we go back out to the main areas and wait for a priest to be available.
think
I
I
don't want
will
to
do
interrupt
at
their
least-
service.
One little, is there anything we can do to help? But
Talking to the priest is probably like finding out more is probably your best bet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like they like all her actual needs are probably taken care of by the priest. But you could help by being mythic heroes and solving her problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So is there anything we can do to help?
To
Not
her,
directly,
or are we
not-
leaving? Basically,
not
it's
She
like-
directly.
probably responds with.
Yes, but seeing what she wants us to do might point us in the right direction for what the
Oh,
something
okay.
something.
If
If
just
you-
say
I'm
some soulless
gonna
were
let
to
you
come
have
in
that
and
and, like,
murder everyone that you don't
if she
like,
were to
who would you
answer
say deserved the murdering?
If she were to answer you with you going, "Hey, can we help you somehow?" She would. When did I even get this Miller Lite though? When did I even go and get this? If she were to
You were
answer
drunker
you,
than we thought.
if she were to go and answer you, she would probably say something like the Fae, like just as a general, fuck them up.
On it, boss. Let's go talk to the priest.
But no, you can tell she's not like vengeful. She's terrified. Like she was okay. You guys got good scores, especially you, Orin and Stark. You guys got good scores on generally any role you made, and Vega did too. But he's also a robot. But you can kind of tell that she genuinely cared for her people, and something happened that she couldn't stop, and something awful happened, and she's fucked up about it.
And just
Like, she
offhand,
was-
not that we know this, but after the Great Contagion, the
There
Fae
was the Valorian
basically,
Crusade. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yes.
Fae basically went, oh look, everything in creation is dying. Let's go have a party.
She thinks it's the Fae's fault. Like nobody knows about the Great Contagion, which is why did I even make a story arc about the Great Contagion if nobody knows about it? But nobody knows about the Great Contagion, but she thinks it was the Fae's fault because all she knows is her people started dying and then the Fae attacked. Like she's literally
Yeah.
like shit was great and then the Fire Nation attacked. Holy fuck! That's her entire viewpoint here.
Yeah, probably just
Everybody
showing her,
started
hey, it's
dying
okay
and-
now, won't help.
Yeah.
It's a valid
She's-
connection to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is a pretty isolated town. It's pretty far from Lookshy. It's even pretty far from Denancer. Like, I mean, in Exalted scale, it's not that far from Denancer, but from our scale, it kind of is. It's like at least 500 miles from Denancer. But
So anyway, we
Yeah.
go back out and wait for the service to end so we can talk to a priest.
You can talk to a priest anytime. There's at least one available at all times, even when there's a service going on. The one that even sent you
Okay.
into this room is available.
Okay, so we go talk to that same guy.
Agreed. So
He rolls join battle. No, I'm kidding.
see what you meant about that.
Yeah, that's not
We
good.
walk up like, okay, now don't be mad. We visited the.
Yes, he says. She's a little upset right now, but I'm sure that soon, with the prayers of all of our loyal citizens, she will be fine.
See, I'm not so sure about that, dude. Well, I don't say it like that. See, I'm not really sure about that, Father.
If
I'll have the grace to at least look
sometime-
around and make sure there's not any not civilians,
No, no, no.
townsfolks.
You're good. You're good. You've got effectively a private audience with him. He has discretion.
Nearest
Good, because I
Father,
think I'm
nearest I can
technically
figure.
still glowing slightly.
No, the scene has changed. The scene has
Cover it
changed.
with a
You're good.
headband.
The scene has
Okay.
changed. You're good. And you were only in glittering. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Like,
Although,
Father is
the
correct,
Lunars
I
might
think, for this
Actually,
guy.
I think the Lunars use an excellency. So aren't you like basically in bonfire right now, Starfire?
internal essence.
You're
Yeah,
basically in bonfire, but he doesn't notice. He's fine. He doesn't.
He's alone with some exiles. He doesn't want to point it out.
Yeah.
Meadow is actually a giant snake in a sweater right now, hissing at him.
He just thinks the acid is kicking in. It's not illegal in Exalted.
I didn't
Nothing's
Honestly,
illegal in Exalted.
if I had his job, I would be doing it on the job too.
Yeah, like, considering all the other crazy shit he probably sees during this job, I mean, is this probably that can't be a pack of exalts? That would be crazy. Why would you a realm control town like this?
But anyway, no. He says that. He says that. Yeah. He seems to genuinely believe that like. He like the what he's saying is true. Like he says, she should be fine soon. She's just going through a rough patch. It's just her time of the month, as far as gods are concerned.
He's been raised into the fucking priesthood of she's going to be fine next year.
Yes, basically. You hit the nail on the head. I was gonna make you guys roll for this, but you hit the nail on the head. Their priesthood is basically raised to believe, like trained to believe that she's fine, and that like she's just going through a rough patch, and that by the time they retire, she should be fine. Because for God, the lifetime of a mortal is just a drop in the bucket. So they're raised to believe that, like, yeah, as long as you're devout and keep the people doing what they're supposed to be doing, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
You know,
That's
the
what they've
terrible
been raised
thing
to
is,
Their
She
severe
might actually
belief is
be
actually
improving.
keeping her going.
Yeah, it was like
she might actually
200
be
years
improving
before she
because of
started talking.
It's the terrifying thing. Like, she might actually be improving because of the way they're acting, and then like she's this lucid because of them. Like
She
anybody
actually
with
showed
a fucking
up.
bubble,
She did actually
Yeah.
show up. So I mean, that's
she's fucking materialized. Like this is kind of a huge deal. She actually has improved since then because of them. It's just that like she was so bad that it's taken like 700 years to get her to be able to show up when people want to talk to her. And even then, she only cries. But she's gotten this far. Like before, it was just what's the city god? We don't even know.
Okay, I'd say to the priest, what do you know about the bodies that she made fall out of the walls and their relation to the Fae?
happy priest questions.
If she showed you a vision, then no doubt she had something important to say to you. Perhaps she thinks that you can help her or her people.
Well, have you noticed any fairy activity about?
Anything of the plague or the fae?
No more than usual of the Fae, and our people are healthy and happy.
What is
As
usual?
you could,
Yeah, you're gonna have to define usual. We don't.
the usual is the rumors of them snatching up slaves or occasionally wandering from their forests to trick a poor, filthy, disgusting whore maiden who has sex before marriage.
So the usual. That's
deeply,
fair enough.
deeply frightened of the Fae
They-
for social activity.
I
Like,
don't
for
mean
to them,
cry,
to these
but-
people, the Fae are just kind of like, fairy
Boogeymen.
tales. To them. Yes, they are very much just boogeymen to them. At least that's what this priest is telling you, anyway. Maybe they actually have horrible Fae problems and he doesn't want to tell you, but probably
It's
not.
actually kind of
Can I roll for
interesting.
deception on?
You can roll for read. What's the word, Oren?
discern bullshit.
The
Discern-
motive thing.
You can roll for discern bullshit, which is it would be manipulation plus socialize, I guess. To tell who someone's lying to you, you roll to lie, basically, right?
I think you could also use like investigation, whichever is higher.
I think it's like perception and investigation to notice they're lying, and then like socialize to actually
Lie.
to have a poker face is manipulation
Oh.
socialize.
Roll some dice, and I'll tell you if you succeed. Just pick two. Just pick an attribute and an ability, and I'll tell you if you succeed. Oh my god!
I'm not a supervillain.
Why did you roll? Why did you roll 2 dice? I gave you a fucking free pass. What's wrong with you?
No,
How dare you
that's
tell the truth?
no, that's
That's convicted.
That's 20
a long
minutes
time
ago.
that was ages ago.
Oh,
Yeah, he
oh,
just
I
rolled
don't
that.
have.
He rolled 4 dice with his free pass, and he managed it, but still.
Gee. And I can't. I don't have timestamps on chat now. But no, one success tells you he's. Wait, what were you trying to find out?
Is the priest lying about anything he knows related to the Fae or the bodies falling out of the walls in the vision?
No,
Damn,
he's not lying.
Tom.
Okay,
He
it's on the level
genuinely
then.
believes what he was taught, and he thinks that the goddess gave you a vision because she likes you, and you could probably help her. And he really wants you to help her. Pro tip: he's got like an exclamation point above his forehead or above his head, floating
Okay,
above
so
it.
he's not going to get
We're just
under our
trying to
feet
figure out how
because
to-
Quest. Accept the quest.
he's not
Oh,
going to get
just-
under our feet in any investigation because it's fine. She'll be fine.
He loves
he-
his goddess.
But he doesn't
And,
know
like,
anything
he-
about any plague or fae. Oh,
No, he doesn't know anything
okay.
about any plague or fake, but like he loves his goddess, and like if he thinks she's chosen you to show you something to help her, he thinks that maybe they were telling the truth, even though it's been 60 years since I became a priest. Maybe she really is going to be fine, and this is the chance I've got, and I have to help my goddess.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
if he doesn't
we're
know this
his
shit,
quest.
that means she's shown us and told us more than she's told any other priests in 700 years.
Well, we're better than
Quite
that.
That
possibly.
you're willing to admit to or remember at least.
She has not talked to her priests. Like
She
at all.
hasn't really
Like,
talked
the
to
most-
us.
The most
that
they get is
much.
wailing.
So just
A few
dropping it on
words.
him that she made plague-infested bodies fall out of the walls was probably kind of like a little blunt thing.
Yeah, he's pretty hyped.
He's
You just told him
interpreted it in a
Evo
good
was going to
way.
be hosted in his temple. He's hyped. Like Jesus is coming back and like wants to bro fest him. He's pretty excited.
Like you fucked up, but he interpreted it a good way.
I'm
Totally.
gonna nod, just tell him that, like, if he knows anything we can do to help, I'll do it, because if it helps the people in the goddess, I think it's important.
He said
Or
that
should-
if she showed you plague bodies, perhaps the city is sick, or a plague is coming, and she has predicted it, and desires for you to fix it. He's fucking reaching. I'll tell you this right now, Vega. You're like, you know how to read people. You're an idol. He's fucking reaching. He's desperate. But
But we don't know anything about the Great Contagion to know, like,
she
one
showed
thing-
you this.
I literally
and
don't
she
even know that it
believed
happened.
you? So
I-
One thing I've heard about is
so we're aware that he's reaching, but we don't have any better ideas.
if you
And
have
what
Lord
I'll-
Freezer above, I would say that you know that there was a huge sickness some 1,000 years ago.
Oh, I have
got
4,
Lord 3, but
and
I wouldn't
it's
know
got
it.
a black dot on it.
Then you are well fucking red. So you would know that there was a huge sickness some 1,000-something years ago, or 700,
Okay.
800 years ago.
Okay, so back to the question I asked when I was in the room. Could I tell that the symptoms presented on the bodies had anything to do with what I know of that ancient sickness?
Absolutely not. You just know there was a
Okay.
plague.
Really, all we like the Great Contagion.
Unfortunately,
It really is just like super plague, and
Yeah,
the only
unfortunately, all
really
they
special
know-
thing was that it worked on
don't-
Exalt everything.
they don't have really the science that we do. Like, we know what the bubonic plague did. We know what the symptoms of it are, and we know what it did to people. They know that people got really sick, and they might know like symptoms, but like it was just super plague basically. It was just regular plague
Well,
that didn't go away.
wasn't the Great Contagion
Okay,
like
so-
all? It was made by necromancers, so it presumably just fucks with everything ever.
About
It was
all
made
we
by the
know
Death
completely
Lords.
Does it
unthinkable.
happen? We don't know
Yeah,
that
it
it's the
was-
Great Contagion. We don't know where it's from in character,
Like,
and I don't
so
even know
even
that it
if I
happened
knew-
because I
aren't
wasn't
necessarily
there.
different from a normal sickness. It's just the fact that they're super sickness. Like, you vomit
So
up
even
all your
if I
insides.
Even if I knew what the symptoms of the Great Contagion were, like everything has at least one of those symptoms. 'Cause
Yeah,
the
you're
Great Contagion
basically
was everything.
just saying it's plague. So you know it's some type of plague, but the thing that differentiated it is that you die too.
You didn't get
if you
better
got
from it.
Yeah, pretty much. No, but I'm gonna just go ahead and let you make a leap of logic here. Like, you can like be like, there was a sickness a long time ago, and she's pretty old, so maybe they're connected.
Yeah, because
You're an exile,
otherwise
I mean,
the thought is
shit.
just that it's the Shadowlands making her sick, and she's worried it's going to give a plague.
That's also a genuine leap of logic that you could make. Though. Like, if
That's-
you wanted to go, like,
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
I
you
do
could-
that with Agatha?
No, it's not though. It's not
Yeah.
though because
No, I just wanted a fucking end chance. So it's like I do want to like not get us
She can
distracted.
punch the Shadowland.
I don't want to get us distracted, but we do have this whole mercenary job where we're trying to fix the whole summer and winter thing right now, and I
We're
don't know
trying
if
to
that's
fix
going
the
to.
town entire.
I don't know if.
Yeah.
I
Wasn't
don't.
there also
We're not
some
meant to say
concerns
that
about
part necessarily.
something about birth rates dropping or crops dying?
Well,
That's
Shadowland.
it's also technically a plague, so
And
maybe we can
that's-
use
Yeah,
that
their
angle to
crops
get
are being fucked
information.
up, by the way.
We
Yeah,
could
I-
use
But it's
we
like.
could use that angle.
We don't really
we can.
we haven't heard anything at all really about diseases and Fae, except maybe the Shadowland. But if we
Find
see
out.
them, we
Their
are
crops are
totally
being
going to
fucked up
kick the
as
shit
well.
out of them.
That
Confirmed
happened.
suspicion.
I thought I said that. Their crops are being fucked up with the Shadowlands. They're in trouble.
Yeah.
might
It is
be
a
hiding
sort of
from the
plague, right?
suspicions some of us had because of our occult dots, I asked the priest exactly how long their order has been, like, covering up her sickness.
Such happy priest
Well-
questions.
He mentions they've never covered up a sickness for their goddess. They've always served their goddess for as long as she's been the city goddess, which is far longer than their history goes back. But
It's-
they've never
Okay,
covered
I'm-
up for her. They've always
It's
just
likely
worshipped
they
her.
just
That is
never
correct.
recorded that they were covering for her.
Correct.
Because
I asked
Yeah.
how long
So
she
doing
has
an
been
admirable
in
job.
this compromised condition. And I do it slightly annoyed because he's being a smart ass.
Well, to
Actually,
that, he's just going to
I
be
think
to that
in
like.
his case,
Well, she's
it's-
been like this for 50 years, because, it was like 200 before she even started materializing.
yeah, I think he literally just doesn't know any different.
She's been sick for as long as I've been a priest, but I was told by my teacher, whom I trust with my life, or trusted with my life, he's fucking dead, but whom I trusted with my life. He says she's been sick as long as he's been alive, but that it was only recent when he was born. So it's a drop in the bucket for a god. It's only been like 50, 60 years. Goodness.
I asked him if there was anything unusual about his teacher.
I think we're barking up the wrong tree.
He
Yeah.
just had this
Well, no,
dead,
because it-
soulless stare to his eyes,
It-
like he had
it-
no
it-
life.
He had this.
In the sense that we have a good idea of what it is, yes. In the sense that it's still a good question for her to ask, it is still a good question for her to ask.
But because
He
us with the cult dots could see that it was 700 years she's been like that. He says
And
his teacher was alive when it started.
Yeah. Well, it's
exactly.
that is what they think.
That's what they're taught. Like they're mortals now. Like who cares about mortals? Fuck.
They don't
Because
know
maybe
any
his
different.
teacher wasn't a fucking mortal. That answer led
No,
me to
there's-
believe his teacher wasn't
Every
a mortal.
generation is telling the next
Each
generation that
generation
we're
tells the
started.
next generation that it just started. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
You know, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Each generation
I
has
thought
told the next
maybe-
generation that. They're just
I
dumb
thought
mortals.
maybe his
Don't worry.
teacher was a hiding exalt or something.
No,
No, no,
I
no, no.
Could be,
That's
but
what-
it's
That's
far from
legitimate
it.
for you to think, but no. I'll tell you flat out, it's mortal. Like
Plus,
it's just a dumb
there's-
priesthood.
The sheer amount of hope he has just at the possibility that things might get better.
Ignited exalt.
I think we
The
should,
son was like, hey, I like
should
the
move
cut of
on.
your jib. You seem to think that things are gonna get better, but they're not. Go ahead, have an exaltation. Yeah.
Your optimism shines as brightly as the sun.
I think if we just keep doing what we're doing and try to fix up the town, it might help. That's
Yeah, okay.
That's the
I
best
just
we got
put
right
my
now,
hand on his
besides talking.
shoulder.
In exalted, it
I put my
probably
hand
has.
on his shoulder.
There's a very direct
Tell him we're
correlation.
gonna do everything we can for his goddess, and then let's end this conversation because this guy doesn't know shit.
He tells you that that's so kind of strangers to do, and that he will be in your debt if you could make the goddess happy again. He thinks she's just sad.
He's kind of
we'll do what we
correct.
can.
Just pat him on the head and let's go start fixing it.
Yeah. Let's go see what the air elemental court is up to.
Outstanding. If you guys do want to
Yeah,
do that, we can just.
I agree. Air elemental core.
I don't-
Let's go.
I'm not putting any errors on that this is Pathfinder, and I don't have a random encounter table for you to roll on when you travel. So if you guys want to go to the Elemental Court, just we'll go to the Elemental Court.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're exalts. I'm pretty sure, unless it's another exalt or a god or an elemental, it magically
Yeah, we
knows
run
to
into
stay out of our
owlbears.
way.
Agatha punches them.
And eats
But
them.
realistically, at
There's
this
really
point,
no reason.
anything that's like a bandit, the only thing we'd worry about is if anybody else saw us beat the stuffing out of them while glowing.
Pretty much, yeah.
How
We
many
Wait,
don't
I've
necessarily
looked
even need to glow to do it.
On really
Yeah,
long
honestly.
you guys will have stories in between, but for this, we're just gonna go to the area.
Yeah.
Ugh.
How long does it take to travel us there, and how do we travel?
That's 5
Well,
hours.
we
I
want to
think,
do that
something like
It's like
we
5
want
hours.
to do that the
until
next day
four.
though, because we're
Well, it was
we're
the
getting
next
on
day.
to like midnight or something if we go over
No.
there now.
Well,
No,
I
because
thought we
you guys
waited
start
until
the
morning
day-
to do all this stuff, and this would
Yeah.
be like
Yeah.
noon tops.
You guys went to see that the priest at morning. It's like maybe
Oh,
midday.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
okay.
then
We
yeah,
got time. Let's go.
You can,
we
go
can
to
get
the-
there right
Hours
at
wouldn't be too bad.
dusk, basically.
No, if you guys want, I'm gonna say you get there. If you leave now, like right after talking to the priest, and then I don't know, jerking him off. It's like 3 p.m. when you get there. Is that okay? Is everybody fine? with
Great.
Yeah.
That gives
Okay.
us a few hours before sundown.
Okay, you're pretty much on your way there. About 30 minutes before you actually get to her to Sleet Like Knives. Just like with 10,000 Cinders, you encounter the Demez before you're actually in it, and it changes from like savannah plainsland, like where lions and zebras and giraffes would live, to ice. It's suddenly snowing. It's like tundra. Lakes are frozen. Animals are fucking frozen solid. You're seeing fucking penguins and shit. And-
Rin just puts his jacket on a little bit tighter and sighs at
we
poor
just,
Agatha.
walk
Just-
on the set of
Yeah.
Skyrim.
Great. This looks just like what I thought. Well, just
Yeah,
like
probably go
home.
ahead and spend a personal note to get some nice, fluffy, fur-trimmed looking outfit that should be warmer.
Find a Geldoro pick and you get 20 more experience.
what?
Gelbor,
it,
haven't you
31
ever had that
experience
pronounced?
for bigger right now?
You link
Okay,
it
yeah.
literally every day, Aaron. You fuck up on the pronunciation.
I was thinking it was like some Monster Hunter monster or something like that, and I was like assuming it was something
No,
specific.
Gelbru,
Yeah, no,
the
I heard an
site
A
where
at the
you
end.
find images of
Yeah,
hentai
no, I know.
chickadees
That sounds
with
about right.
tags
It's
like
porn sites, right?
blonde underscore hair or
Mate starts listing her fetishes.
Then curses her fashion sense and keeps an eye out for a polar bear to eat.
Diva with open what is it? Open
Do you-
sweater or whatever.
Do you actually? Oh yeah! Oh my god! Cleavage sweaters. Those are big this year for some reason. Those are
Yeah,
cute.
they came in and then they came back and then they came
Yeah,
back.
they like exploded this year. But do you actually want like Alia, 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 Alia?
I'm here.
Nobody's looking. I'm just going to turn into a bear right now. That works, right?
Alia? Yeah, isn't it 5 modes to shapeshift?
It is. It's 5 modes for war form. It's 3 modes for regular shapeshifting.
Okay. That's fine. Alia. Alia,
Yes.
do you actually want to sacred hunt a bear?
No, there isn't time for a sacred hunt right now.
I mean, you could go sacred hunt while they deal with the elemental. Like, if you want to get a sacred hunt in, like, that's totally fine.
Okay,
That's
see,
kind of,
the
I
thing
kind of have to
is,
deal with that with
I
bears.
I feel like eating one of her polar bears would dampen negotiation.
Well, you won't be there.
No?
You say you
We'll
would
just
be
be
a
like-
poor guess.
We don't know shit about
Honestly,
that
well,
one solar.
Here's the thing about the sacred hunt.
Her polar bear. Like, what the fuck? I mean, that
Yeah.
you know that means her polar bear was like the polar bear. Because for a sacred hunt to work, it has to be like the perfect example of a polar bear. It has to be like the bear of a
It
polar
is
bear.
the best
Oh, so-
polar bear
So it would be
around.
like, well, I had the best polar bear, and you
Yeah.
murdered it.
Top polar bear in the area. So like that's kind of a
It's an honor
compliment.
because lunars are that special.
Yeah, lunars are celestial exiles. That's a big fucking deal.
Well, how much EXP does a new animal form cost?
Nothing if you
doesn't
catch it
matter.
in a play.
No,
It's a
you just have to roll
background
for it.
advancement.
You just have to roll.
Uh,
It's just rolls for the sacred hunt. It's like survival rolls.
Okay, I guess I will do a sacred hunt for a polar bear.
Okay, well, I don't remember the rolls for it, so somebody go find those for me while I describe this Demesne.
Well, it could
Oh,
probably
hey, you
we
linked.
could probably just do it either after or and
Oh, what the Wakanda I picked too. 300 experience for Vega. Holy shit.
I get the feeling these points don't matter. But I'm noting them
Fucking
down anyway.
Billion experience here. That is a. Oh my god, I can't believe Wakanda's still drawing. Fucking Miku. What were you saying, Ellie?
Are we playing? Are we playing by fucking whose line is it rules here?
Yes.
Pretty much. Anyway, you guys,
I
you
found-
encounter
I
snow
found
and
Miko.
tundra. And eventually you come to basically what is like an open air palace is the only way you could describe it. Like, there were already like frozen trees and stuff, but now they're like specifically like laid out in an aisle and things are like symmetrical now, and it seems like it's a palace but without walls or a ceiling. And eventually you do come to a throne upon which sits a picture that I'm sure I have somewhere. Wait, it's probably. Oh yeah, I thought ahead and I left a picture for myself. Upon the throne sits a woman of ice. And to call her beautiful would be incorrect, because she's a thing made of ice, and the only reason you can tell she's a woman is because she has tits. Her face is basically a mask, and her hair is icicles. And she's really not very pleasant looking, but she does look powerful. And she's surrounded by air elementals and water elementals, and even a few earth elementals who are just kind of hanging out like assholes. But
Earth elementals are the only ones in both courts, right?
I appreciate the effort there, but it doesn't actually, like, that is not an intentional detail. And it will not come up, so don't waste your time on it. Don't waste any of your power on that. It is not important. I am not a puzzle game maker, so like the fact that there's earth elementals, like, you're totally right, there are earth elementals in both courts, and that's kind of impressive that you thought of that. But it won't actually come up, so don't like waste brain power on it.
Does he get EXP for catching that totally important detail you wrote?
He gets 300 experience. But anyway, you meet this. You come upon the throne of this lady, and like this time you aren't like stopped by elementals who have to escort you to her. You just pretty much stumble upon the throne somehow, which is probably because elementals were guiding you through the blizzard that you encountered. That I just wrote. It's a blizzard, but there's no blizzard around her throne, but there was a blizzard in the rest of her territory. And it was a big pain in the ass. Everybody had to do a bunch of survival rolls about it, but you made it through okay. And the point is, you make it to this lady, and elementals are flanking. It turns out that the frozen trees that made an aisle are actually elementals, but they're not moving. They're actually elementals, though. And she says to you, "Why do you come to my home after sharing time with that bastard 10,000 cinders?"
You'd rather us only hear one side of the story?
Like, if I'm not on my sacred hunt, I also point out that you know who we are then, and what we are.
Oh, you have to make rolls for the sacred hunt.
So yeah, let's just say I do that after the meeting, because I don't want to miss the meeting.
I'm going to give
Okay.
Ren a look like, yeah, I'd certainly like to have them only come talk to me in this kind of situation. I'm not good at negotiation.
But no, she says, she looks at Ren and furrows her brow in anger and says, "How dare you speak to me in such a tone? I, who have survived so much and led this place for many years. Who are you to speak to me in such a way?"
Well, tell who you are.
So very tempted.
Do it.
Dude, just go bonfire.
Do it.
What's she gonna do?
Yeah,
Fucking
show
wet
her up.
herself? What's she gonna do about it?
Well, she can't
Bunch
even
of
wet herself.
S1
It'll just freeze.
elementals. Fucking.
Actually, he goes full. He goes ahead and full flares and goes faceless because of it. But
Are you? Well, you can actually choose not to have that the anima effect occur if you don't want to. Are you going full totem?
yeah,
Please describe your anima totem for me. Take the spotlight,
Aw.
Oren.
Take it. Take it.
Okay. Like, anima banners are basically my fetish, so please describe your anima banner for me.
You stepped in this, Oren.
I know.
You
I'm
stood-
about to. I'm letting y'all.
Cannot back out.
start.
Oh my god, describe your anima banner already, or you are
Yes.
kicked out.
So,
That's
as he
amazing.
stares,
Best one I've ever heard. Go ahead.
as he stares at her, in reply, the light around him starts to softly grow and glow in a strange myriad of colors, shifting from one to another and slowly, amorphously spreading out from him in the shape of wings. He stares even more at her as he's supposed to stare a lot. Sorry. But as he continues
Don't
his stare,
apologize. Ignore Elliot because she just lost 200 XP for laughing at you during your moment. Go ahead.
But as he continues his wordless stare at her question of who he is, the colors start to shift into wings and the face of a hawk staring straight at her. So, yay, there.
Okay. If you were making a roll, I would have given you a 2 or 3 dice stunt. I don't know, but that was good. Thank you. Next time,
We're all new to
definitely
this.
do that some more.
We're all new.
What?
We're all new to this, so it's awkward.
No,
In voice.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I want to encourage that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's good. You told me what your anima banner looks like for the first time. That's like the first time an anima banner has popped in the game, I think, which is awesome. And like
Yeah, I'm
everybody
sorry
else
for
should be like,
laughing.
oh fuck, why'd he go all out? Because he just like fucking went nuts on this bitch. And
Yeah.
she notices, believe
I-
me. Even though her face is made of ice, you can pretty much blatantly tell. You can apologize later, Alia, you bitch. Anyway, no, I'm just messing with you. She definitely notices that you've just gone full anima banner in front of her, and her tone pretty much completely changes from condescending to apologetic, as she says, "I wasn't aware that I was giving court to a lawgiver. Please forgive me. If I had known, I would have offered my greatest amenities to you." And she waves the hand, and as if on cue, elementals start coming out. And they pretty much be. Are you wearing shoes, Orin?
He's got shoes on.
are you-
I'll say he would have went ahead and did the hardship surviving if that for some reason matters, but
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I assume it's active anyway. Don't spend modes on it. When I want you to spend modes on it, I'll tell you. But like for now, like yes, there is technically an environmental effect going on, but it's not narratively important unless you start fighting, which I don't expect you to do. So, but no, elementals start coming out and like attending to your party, to you and your party. If anyone's barefoot, they'll anoint their feet with oil that makes them immune to ice. But if they're not barefoot, they won't bother. But they start offering you Turkish delights and other fucking wintry delights and snacks, and generally acting like you're fucking kings. Please, what can I do for the lawgivers in my court? She says, apologetically, like a bitch.
Oh, this was easy.
we
enough.
came here to hear your side of the story. Will you tell it?
I should never say no. But, no, fuck off.
Yeah,
Go away.
he's not being particularly nice to her right now. And I'll go ahead and say that like the attendants and all that, if any of them get close to him, he's just waving them off too.
Which, oh, that's definitely actually kind of interesting that you won't let them attend to you, but that's definitely a calculated insult. I'm kind of impressed. But Sheila, she gets up off her throne and actually goes so far as to kneel to you and says, "Of course, my lord, anything I could do for the return lawgivers is nothing but nothing but the minimum. Please tell me, what can I do for you?" Oh, wait, you actually did tell her to tell you your side of the story. No, I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and tell you. She
Well,
says
she's
that,
blathering, so she says that as part of it.
yeah, she's fucking freaking out. Like flat out, she's freaking out. Like, congratulations, going anime banner has successfully freaked her out. But she says that her court has been here for over 200 years, regulating the weather, and only recently has that bastard fire court, fucking 10,000 cinders, ruined the careful and precariously planned weather she had set out for the area with his ego and general malaise and assholishness. and that she's only been trying to keep things stable by counteracting his ridiculous amount of heat that he's been playing in the area. I'm sorry, did
And
I
I'm
say
not
too
going
many
to be the
names?
only one asking questions unless you guys want to not ask questions.
Well, Agathe
Well,
certainly
Ben is
stepped
just-
aside.
Ben is just standing there rocking on her heels with her hands in her pockets because she senses this is going to happen every time they meet a fucking god or elemental.
Well, I've got no problem speaking up, but I probably won't treat the gods right.
Who gives a
You
shit?
could ask her how she gets her ice that way.
But straight up, I do actually have something. I'm not sure if it's quite the right time, but hell, I'll go ahead and speak up anyway. So,
Go
first of
ahead.
all, I say that, we heard much the same story from 10,000 Cinders. And then just, I'm going to tell it like it is. The feud between you two is dangerous and harming the people. It would be much, much better if you found a way to work together. You're not going to like it, but
With no disrespect, most respected lawgivers and stewards, what matter is the humans. None have died as a result of our quarrel, only been inconvenienced. We ensure that none of them fall within the crossfire of our most assuredly tiny and insignificant quarrel, far beneath the notice of such mighty beings.
And yet, we are aware.
Is this why one of the battlegrounds is the middle of the business district, the middle of the government district for the town?
That it falls within our purview does not mean that we harm your subjects, mighty kings and queens. If we have inconvenienced you, surely you would see that the air court has the right to weather around this area, and has for so many centuries.
What was the
Funny.
actual previous court?
Out of character, I think if based on what the Cinders said in session 2, he was there first, and then the other elementals moved in.
They're both gonna say
And
that.
Yeah, they might
Actually,
have been lying.
out of character, I think both of them basically moved in when someone else moved out, and they've just been contesting ever since, and have just
impression
slowly grown in
given
strength.
looking at some of the stuff Lily dropped, it sounds like Cinders was there first.
But probably not there much earlier.
Not so
Oh,
much.
Okay, well, we roll
Neither
the
of them
sense
are
of
an actual
deception.
Yeah, neither of them are an actual court.
Yeah, that's true. They're just setting up and all that. So
They're trying to gain enough acceptance of themselves to try and become a court just by virtue of being the only ones there doing something, but that's it. I'm more curious if there was an actual court in the area beforehand, and if that went
We'll
away.
need to get her to admit that We'll need to get her to admit that neither she nor Cinders were here first before we can ask her anything about that.
well, the easiest way to do that is to get them together.
That's not gonna fucking
Gonna
happen,
lock
though,
them
is
in a
it?
room
yeah, that's
Oh,
not
no,
going to
it-
happen.
and get them to fight it out.
It could, but it wouldn't be like in one or the other territory. It'd be like they'd be
I was thinking
duking
It
it
would
out
be in the fucking
in
middle of the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't use the town as neutral ground. Everybody will die.
What about the Shadowland? Everyone's gonna suck there.
Actually, that is theoretically a possibility.
Agathe says that.
It's a possibility.
Agathe takes the fucking stick of cooked meat out of her mouth and mutters that. As the group would
It's a
deliberate.
possibility, but there are so many things that could go wrong.
Yes, there are.
I don't think we want the elementals to move where the abyssals are the strongest. It seems we have at least one abyssal around here, or at least
Like-
had at least one abyssal around here.
She's gone. She's
Keep in
gone.
mind,
Enough.
how we
Totally
get
not
here.
sticking around or warping around in the underworld.
We want one of the elementals to be alive and behaving when this is over.
Well,
The
survival of the
Shadowland
fittest.
might not offer us that solution.
I'd ideally like them both working together, but that's, the hard mode option.
And between the two of them, I admit Cinders is like well ahead as far as if it only is one of them and not
If there can
like
be only
them working
one,
together or
Yeah, it's hard to grow
even
during
like
winter. It's hard to grow
generals they
crops
might
in
have.
medieval society
I don't
during
like
winter.
Cinders. I don't like Cinders. I want to hear more from her.
She schmoozes too much, but yes.
Oh,
She's kind of in a panic because of Orin being too
like
much.
surprise solar.
Yeah. Who are you? I'm a solar. Oh.
Oh shit!
It's also of note, and this is admittedly interrupting, and my apologies. Of note, how they approach things is interesting. She defaulted to dismissive. He at least was curious.
Well, maybe it would have been different if we didn't talk to Cinders first. Like, as far as she knew, we'd listened to Cinders and we were there to run her out of town.
A fair point.
We also had the governor's representative with us when we went to visit Cinders.
nah. Ain't worth shit.
And-
Okay.
I want
we
to say
did ask for that this
Cinders wasn't necessarily dismissive, but he was an arsehole in his own way. Like,
Oh,
we
very
were there
much
for
so.
his entertainment, and we were there for his entertainment until he found out there were solars in the party. She just doesn't have she's just not interested in that kind of entertainment.
It's almost like she's cold.
Willing to sacrifice.
The gate.
Okay, I
hugs.
have returned.
Didn't know you
I
even
didn't
left.
know you'd gone somewhere.
You
I-
didn't say.
I completely said that I went to get a drink.
We've been
You just-
You
talking
may have
so
been
much
We've
shit.
muted
been,
because
we've
none of
been
us heard
rambling.
that.
We've been spinning our wheels for the last few minutes then, so
Oh. Somebody summarize for me.
And we've
We've
been
just been comparing
discussing
the two
like
of them.
how. Yeah, we've been discussing like how we want to proceed and which one is less of an asshole. And I think like between her and Cinders, I think we assumed they're both assholes, and there's no way we're going to get them to cooperate with each other.
Well,
Oh no, we
No,
actually.
the trick
we
is we
can.
need to get them to negotiate, but we realize we can't really have them meet on middle ground because that is also called the town. However, Agathe has totally had the brilliant idea, why don't we just use the Shadowland for that?
That's not a good idea. I want
the
to
others-
complete.
Yeah, let's
I just want to
let's
veto
take
that
the
immediately.
elementals into the Shadowland.
Yeah, the others don't like this idea for some reason, but I'd say whoever survives is obviously the best and deserves to win.
Neither of them are going to survive.
Well, then neither deserve it.
Possibly
As
one
an added
of
bonus,
us will
Leave
some
the
of
survive.
weather
them-
to the
they might-
loom.
Actually, I don't know if they do badly if they leave creation.
They do. Element
we
like
should go
gods
ahead and-
can survive in Shadowland barely.
I'm
Elementals
gonna
not
go
so
ahead and
much.
put forth the idea that they
They're not gonna
should
cause shit with each other then.
actually meet and negotiate with us as mediators.
we can actually because
you-
it's the.
Are you gonna
Are
put
you
that
dealing
forth by
with it
feeling?
yourself?
Yes.
You're gonna tell her that you think she should meet with Thunder?
Yeah, and we'll be there to act as mediators for a negotiation, because even if they haven't killed anyone, I think this inconvenience has to stop. It's
Like
not
going-
good for the people.
They're going
She
to.
seems genuinely upset at this notion and says, surely, honored friend of a lawgiver, honored lawgivers, honored stewards, you can see that this notion of meeting with something that is my antithesis would be disastrous at best.
Are you saying
I
you
point
feel
out-
that you cannot?
I feel that I would only be insulted by this monster of fire who believes himself in the right.
I
I'm
would
sure
like
he
to
would say
point
the
out
same thing
to
about
her
you.
in character. I point out to her in character that not meeting is proving to be disastrous for literally everybody else involved. So maybe, like, for the good of the people she's trying to protect from his weather, suck it up.
Basically, we're
I will
giving them
point out-
the chance to work it out among
Reconcile their
themselves with our
differences.
assistance. If they
I will
feel
point
that
out,
they
out of
cannot do
character,
so,
that one of them has sucked up to you, but the other one has bribed you. Like, all she has done is call you lawgiver and steward, and he's been like, hey, I've got some orichalcum and a bunch of friends who like solars lying around, so wink wink.
Yeah, and that makes me really fucking suspicious of Cinders.
I can say that that's not actually necessarily strange behavior
Yeah,
for a spirit, honestly.
It's honestly not. Being friends with solars is like literally the most beneficial thing they could possibly do. And like bribing solars and then not following through on what they say is kind of the worst thing they can do. So bribes
It's
are
not
not
that I don't
necessarily.
think
I just wanna add to the whole maybe you guys should meet up thing. You know, if we're giving you this whole chance to sort this out amongst yourselves and work out some sort of turns thing or something like that. And if you don't, we're going to have to sort this out, it seems like. And it's a hell of a
Okay, I
lot
wanna-
easier to grow things during summer, even regardless of all this kind of shit.
I was gonna hold off on the threats until we really needed them.
Well, I got
Well,
this.
no, we've got a
Like
glowing
that.
night class right now, so it's at this point it's the pointing out that if they feel they cannot reach an agreement themselves, we can take it upon ourselves to resolve
To
that
impose
situation.
one from outside, yes.
We'd rather them be able to come to an agreement themselves. We're willing to help them come to an agreement themselves.
Are you mentioning this? Or
Basically, yeah,
Yes.
in slightly different terms, but yeah.
she'll kind of furrow her brow, if that's possible for someone with a face made of ice, and kind of say, and what would the dragon-blooded think of your interference in this matter, Lord Lawgiver?
If
Probably
you're gonna
very
start
little.
bringing the dragon blooded into this, you're not gonna get to tell them.
Dragon-blooded.
Please tell me she says that.
Yeah, I say that in character.
I knock over the platter of cooked meat that I've been eating from one of these elementals as she says that, and I go just to let her know that I'm ready.
Solar
you
diplomacy, everyone.
You just smack the platter out of this poor penguin's hand, like, fuck your meat!
It's basically at that point it's looking towards her and saying, "Are you well and truly sure you want to give her that excuse?"
Never mind, how's the Wild Hunt going to react when they find out you've been consorting with Solars?
Never mind, how's the Wild Hunt gonna react when they find out you've been fighting amongst yourselves, for that matter? I don't think the Immaculates...
Yeah, actually, the Wild Hunt would just be pissed at these people in general.
Oh yeah. Oh, the good thing about the Immaculates is, while they're horrible for Solars and other Exalts and whatnot, the very good thing about them is, while
They keep shit in line
They're-
in the rest of creation.
yeah, they're dealing with it poorly in some ways, but they are actively dealing with some of the spirit courts and actually forcing them to do as they should in some limited ways. So yeah, if
So
the
what's-
Immaculates were here, they would just be beating the crap out of them already.
What's this elemental's name again?
Sleet like knives.
Correct.
I go, okay, so Ven goes, okay, Sleet, you can talk to the Immaculates, and they'll initially be pissed about us, but the second they deal with us, they'll be on your case too. Or you, us, and Cinders can work this out quietly, and nobody needs to know, and nobody needs to let Agathe hear another threat like that.
She's quite anxious, you know.
Extremely anxious.
Just look at her happy little eyes.
But at least the Immaculates know who's in the right and who has the right to control the weather over this area. I would gladly deal with their courts if it meant not having to put up with Cinders and his bullshit another second longer.
And yet the governor doesn't seem to support either of you. Interesting, that.
Is there a third party somewhere we should be talking to?
Yeah, as
The
far as
city
I
Yeah,
know,
god.
it's
I
the
think
fucking
the realm is
governor.
dealt with.
You should turn yourself into the realms. You should turn yourself into the realm.
That sounds like a good idea. Let's do that one.
I think you should turn yourself into the realm. It's really for the best. Or just join the mask. I mean, he's gonna win. No, there's not actually a third party you need to talk to unless you think there's a third party you need to talk to.
It's the governor. I mean, clearly, like, if we want to make any peaceful progress, we're
Well,
going
no,
to
the
need
governor
city
is the realm.
support.
The governor is a realm influence, but that's why I just had Falcon point out that she hasn't gotten anything from the realm. Realm seems to be actively fine at this point with playing them against each other.
It's near Dead End's door. They probably just don't want to fucking bother. They probably just think it's Dead End's door. Let's not go near it.
I
In
mean,
fact,
near it.
the realm employees took us to talk to Cinders. Clearly, they have more of a dialogue with him.
That's true.
Again, it's almost like summer is a bit more useful. You can at least do some stuff.
Well, no matter who wins, they actually do control the weather, like, properly. Obviously, one of them is aspected towards air and winter, and one of them is aspected towards summer, but, like...
She's probably got
elementals know at the
longer
very
summer
least.
months, but
Fixing
they're not
what
gonna, like,
the other's
bait
doing.
the place.
If we were to scrap now, could we beat Sleet? Because I'm getting pretty ready to just put an end to it.
As long as she stays materialized, maybe, but it'd probably be a really bad idea.
Whether or not you would win.
I'd note that
Fair
it'd probably be quite dangerous for us to do so.
Elementals are pretty bad at the whole material dematerial thing, though, aren't they?
I can tell you that Cinders and Sleet themselves are both Essence 4. And that's the most I will tell you.
Oh, fuck.
They're in the middle of their own attuned manse, in the middle of their court of other elementals.
Elementals. It's the fact that we're not just fighting.
Yeah.
They also have their own posse of beat sticks.
Okay, so, like, shouldn't go.
Okay, as far as the actual in-character conversation goes, if nobody else points it out, I will just blatantly point out that the realm official took us to speak with Cinders first. She's gonna play the realm recognizes her card.
As she already acknowledged earlier, even.
Well, no, she didn't.
Yes.
She didn't acknowledge that part. The realm of fish was like, let's go see Cinders.
Because the governor here is so disconnected from the rest of his country that he believes himself to be in the right. But he only wants to go with what will allow him to abuse them for more power. I would actually control the seasons, lawgivers, and give these people a harsh winter so that they may have a beautiful summer. She seems to be mostly pleading with you as if she were going to actually do, good things. She's trying to get you on her side, quite frankly.
Yeah, see, I'm still suspicious of all the offers Cinder's made, because even if he does plan to make good on them, he, like, put everything he had on the table really quickly.
He was very
Oh no,
excited about us. She is very, oh fuck, what have I done? Shit, Dragon Bloods.
with what I note about him, I'm not saying to trust Cinders in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. He just seems somewhat more direct in some parts of how he acts, but not necessarily others.
Yeah, and that's suspicious as hell, because he could just be telling the right truths and making the right offers.
Or he
True.
feels he's on the
She
losing
just
side
seemed-
of things in the long run, and he's
Or he's just a passionate fire elemental type, because fire, passion, etc.
son.
Yeah.
Praise the
And
sun.
then, yeah, and then hers seems to be more of a default to conniving and such. So it mostly depends on what you'd rather work with. But it's just two different approaches. Maeve's not intending for this to be, and this is just me saying this, but I don't think Maeve is intending for this to be necessarily an easy thing to say, oh yeah, this one's way better than the other one, no contest. So.
Well, I would like to check for deception on her statement about actually doing the weather. I would like to check for her. I'd like to check her statement about actually doing the weather properly for deception.
Read intent is a social attribute plus socialize.
What I'll also note at this point is what she thinks is proper is probably more what is worrisome than her thinking she's doing it wrong. She probably doesn't think she's going to be doing it wrong. Neither of them probably think they're going to be doing it wrong.
Yeah, she's probably not lying, but if I don't need to absolutely trust that, I'm not going to. It costs me nothing to do this role.
I distrust both of them. Oh, I assumed you were rolling. I didn't have the IRC. Yeah, you did roll just a moment ago.
She is definitely sincere that she will actually control the weather. That's what you were checking, right?
Yeah, I was checking.
She very much intends to give proper seasons. Like she can't actually affect the seasons that much. Like she could make a winter harsher, and she could make a summer worse. But like she's definitely going to make air probably the most important season in this area, either because it's very harsh or because it's very mild. But she's not going to fuck these people over. That would just kind of fuck her over.
So she can't she can't even do a lot of damage. The only thing that's causing the damage.
No, she can.
Is
no, she can do damage.
She can do damage.
It's the conflict.
Turn the area into a fucking wasteland.
Yeah, but both of them want to actually be a proper court. It's just neither of them are right now, and they're circling each other to try and figure out who's going to win.
Yes.
Okay, well, if both of them are valid choices, then I guess the one that offered us stuff is the better one.
Congratulations.
Do you want to say this to the one who's already started to get desperate enough to start to mention the wild hunt?
I'm just gonna go ahead and actually use some in-character talking.
Yes, go on.
Actually get a word in edgewise.
Well, just push in.
So I just realized something which might be useful, so I'm going to say that first, which is that we're actually the first. She's actually the first of the two court leaders, so to speak, that we've come to with the idea of them negotiating, which may at least give her some ability to choose time. I won't say this part, which is, it would help save face, but she can probably figure that one out.
You cut a lot, but do you mean time and place?
Yeah, like we were
Okay.
talking to her about meeting first, so
Yeah.
she might be able to pick some of those things.
See,
That's a very good point. And she perks up when you mention that, knowing that she's the first that you've come to with that idea and thinks she's got an advantage now. And she says, I see. Would we be able to speak with each other in the town publicly?
oh god.
To let the people of the town decide who they want running their seasons.
That could go so very horribly wrong. So
In
wrong.
character.
Are you going to keep up
In
this
I'm not
character,
gonna
whole?
say
I'd
that.
say-
I
in
haven't killed.
character.
Are you going to keep up this whole "we haven't killed anyone yet" kind of thing?
In character,
I
I
ask
say
that.
that might be a really bad idea. Also, the townspeople are stupid.
And I'll note that the townspeople don't seem to be very pleased at your conflict.
They might just say neither.
Which
They'd
is
probably
why they
prefer
would
it to be at least outside, but not necessarily outside of their sight, but not inside the city walls.
Surely such wonderful and wise lawgivers would know that we would be civil in such a discussion so as not to harm the people for whom we work.
I'm not doubting that you intend that in the slightest.
I think if the people are fine with it, then so would we. We'd be cool with it if they are.
Then that
It's
is
their
the
town.
place I would most prefer. If you can convince the disgusting fire elemental to curb his attitude and love of person-killing lava for 10 seconds to speak with me civilly, then I would be happy to discuss with him with such respected and beloved lawgivers overlooking the discussion.
Sounds easy enough.
Well, the other side of this is we're going to need to convince the town to let you both in, not just elementals they're kind of fishy with, but both of them at the same time.
Out of character, there's not so much that we have to convince the town, like she's saying. They don't really have a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
It's more like, hey guys, just so you know, there's gonna be some elementals having a debate in here. If you don't want to get burned or frozen, you should probably stay inside. They don't
Okay,
really
well,
have a
out
choice.
of character,
This
I'll
isn't
mention
even like a
that I
solar
don't really
thing.
care.
It's just.
Out
It's
of count-
just a
Out
god
of
thing.
character, I'll explain that.
But
Out
like
of character,
making
I'll
sure the
explain
town's
that I don't
ready
give a
to deal
shit
with it.
what the town thinks about having the elementals in it. I care
Sell
that they're
tickets to
all
this, right?
beloved steward and lawgivers. Like,
Oh.
I don't want people
Ah.
hearing that shit.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh.
already sitting there thinking on how to do that. The side of that is though that she literally does know better. Both of them know better, but they'd probably be like blatantly winking at us or some screwy thing like that.
It would even dumb mortals are probably going to piece it together with like, who are these fucking retard mercenaries that are managing to bitch these gods out and make them talk to each
That
other?
chick's carrying. that
Why did they
chick
just
is
ignore the
carrying a
governor to
staff twice the
bow?
size of her body.
You know, Kentama did tell us to let people know the lawgivers had returned.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
Actually, that
I'm
would
all
be
for it,
a
but
good
people should
way
be
to-
involved
Yeah,
in this kind of decision.
Just tell the Essence 9 governor that lawgivers are back. I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
Now,
he-
that being
Oh,
said,
They don't have to
depending
realize-
on Venom's intent to seduce, well, not necessarily seduce, but to manipulate the governor, this
Ideally-
could actually go well. But
Ideally, they'll figure out we're lawgivers after we've left.
or after they've become essentially ours, because I mean,
I'm not
they
terribly,
could just decide to go over to our side.
It's
It's
not
true.
terribly displeasing to have them realize, oh fuck, solars, when we've got, two opposing air elementals working, or two opposing elementals working together underneath us and helping them that
Yeah.
Oh,
actively.
they're not. The governor's not actually Essence 9. That was a joke. The highest Essence Dragon Blood in existence is Essence 8, and it's the Scarlet Empress.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think they did have like a single Essence 9 one like way back when they did the usurpation.
The Dreams of the First Age stuff.
Yeah, that
Like,
really old wood
there was
one
that
was
one guy who had fought in the Primordial Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, his motivation was what, live.
Yeah, B. No, his motivation was B.
Oh man.
Yeah.
My concern isn't so much that they'll immediately turn on us during the negotiations. Will we have the elementals there that would protect the solars and the stewards? My concern is that the second we leave and move on outside the protection of those elementals, the governor's going to give our descriptions to the Wild Hunt.
Well, that's then.
Well, I mean-
Then Cinders and Slate are probably going to fuck him up.
to be fair,
They
Sleep
don't need to know he did that.
Well, then
Yeah.
Cinders will fuck her up.
Like, I'm still
Really?
concerned about the elementals giving us up while we're in town. Like, Sleet has already made that.
I don't think they necessarily intend to do that because they personally think that
Let's
that's
just take the
either a
risk.
loss. But
Well, what's the worst that could happen?
It's-
What's the
The
worst that
worst
could
that could
happen?
happen is Sleep could agree to the negotiations, get us in town, then go, hey, look, those fuckers are solars and lunars, and use that to get the Wild Hunt to favor her.
that's very
Then we-
valid. The only issue is, realistically, she could still do the same thing anyways, even without the contest.
Would
She could just go to talk to the mayor right now, probably.
Would she bring her entourage into the city? 'Cause
We
if-
wouldn't
have a
allow
big
that, and I'm
space?
starting to think,
I'd assume that they'd
That's-
take some of their court with them. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
I'm
the courts
starting to
would be
think the
present
most-
for deciding who the primary court would be.
I suppose.
I'm starting to think the most prudent course of action is to conspire with Cinders to get her to leave her area, to travel to the city and assassinate her on the way.
And or to just jump her right now before she dematerializes. But that'd just make her angry. And probably not
Also,
actually
we're
kill her.
surrounded.
Well, no, wait, elementals. So once they're dispersed, they're actually turned into elemental stuff. So they don't reform.
Yeah, but can we take them all out?
I'm not going to
Not
try.
all of them? Probably not. Especially the ones that
So
didn't
this is a-
dematerialize. But
Like, how much of a crowd are we looking at here,
Okay.
Maid? Like, how many of these ice elementals are actually, like, menacing foes of worth, and how many are basically fucking Gunthers?
You know, Gunther is the most evil thing in the universe, right?
I think what he's asking is how many of these horrible supernatural creatures are effectively extras.
I would
If-
say, including her, there's 5 you would have to worry about, and close to 12 extras.
And again, they can just kind of dematerialize it, and if one of them manages to do that, then yeah.
Like, I think probably what we should be considering is she might turn us over to the Wild Hunt. If we punch up her courts, she will turn us over to the Wild Hunt.
Yes. Very much so. So I mean, basically right now it's we can either
I'm
try
all
and
for trusting
destroy
them
her
or giving
now.
for the friendly solution.
try and destroy her later, or make her decide otherwise, or make it pointless for her to reveal it.
I think we have painted ourselves into a corner where our only course of action is to go float the negotiation idea to cinders.
Yeah,
Probably.
We don't necessarily have to put it in town, but we should at least go off and talk to him about it.
Well, the town is probably the easiest thing, at the very
It
least.
is.
Just
Many
because,
people
Town is
actually
the-
in attendance other than us.
It's higher
Town is the
stakes, but
easiest place to get Sleet to agree to, but we could cost a lot of lives if it goes south.
Well, that makes
Oh,
it
yes.
easier. We don't... The lives thing would be bad, but it wouldn't be a problem.
we're solar, so
Until we
it can be perfectly great or perfectly horrible if we do it this way.
But it will be perfect.
And then the Death Lords will attack during the middle of it.
well, we'll just have all of our reinforcements in one place.
I don't want to ruin the place and then have somebody from Thorns show up and raise the dead and go, look what the soul has fucked up and we fixed.
Yay!
We could go around
Oh,
and
you
be
need
their
eight
best
ideas.
recruiters.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, does anyone have an idea besides go to Cinders, ask him, and at most, still try to make it, like, just outside town?
Well, realistically, either way, right now, we probably do need to go speak to Cinders about it. Even if we have, like, no intention of setting this up, actually, we probably still need to go through the motions at the very least at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
It'll give us time
I
to
would make
figure
you
out a
guys
better
go through
idea.
emotions.
we probably don't even need to get fancy about that. I mean, I'll go see Cinders since he seemed to like me enough.
Yeah, you went
Yeah, I was
glowy
the one
solar in front of him, so
yeah, so we're
Would
both
he
better
take it as an
representatives.
insult if would he take it as an insult if the whole group doesn't go?
I don't think he
Because
has
the
a...
whole group was
I think
I don't think
his
he's
thought
fair.
process
Make
would
the
go,
offer to
solar,
Cinders.
better bite my lip and deal with it.
Yeah, I don't think it would matter if he took it as an insult or not. Like,
it might be slightly more likely that he might try and seduce Agatha, but that's about it.
I got a job to do.
I'm
I'd go
okay
with you.
with that.
he uses the second excellency and automatically seduces you.
Damn it.
He's going all
I
in
was
for this one.
considering trying. I was considering trying to seduce Sleet, but I don't want to get the whole tongue stuck to a phone pole thing going on.
Mandatory
I
lips to
cannot
Uglav.
feel my tongue.
That's kind of
To be honest, you're a lunar, and it would probably not. Like, you'd probably just be like, "Hey, this is my fetish because I'm a lunar."
Whatever, I can roll survival.
Look,
You can rip your tongue off and regrow it,
as a lunar is
and then
probably
control
faster
your
growth
tongue
than
away
physics.
from your body.
I really
You are a
wanted
lunar
that
because
whole...
you survived incredible hardship, so...
I really wanted that whole, I don't want the Fays to attack me thing, and then Alia fucking up and saying they are tricksy bastards. They're probably everywhere. You're probably one of them to then be followed up by him doing some shape-shifting Fey shit.
Out of character. Out of character, I said that. I wasn't going to say that to somebody with PTSD. Like I wouldn't. I have members of my family who are in war. I wouldn't go, hey, is that mortifying?
Oh no, have you met my Uncle David? It's he's a strange and disturbing person.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he
it can-
smuggled tank home from Iraq.
Who's going to Cinders?
I will.
I'll go with.
There we
Well,
go.
either way, are we leaving? Are we leaving Sleet, or are we trying to split up and?
I'm
leave
not
some of us with
leaving
Slate?
them with Slate, because I'm fucking ready to cause shit.
Planning what to do next, but
I think the
as
rest
far
of us
as
should probably
sleep
go
goes,
back to
I'll,
town and get shit set up for the negotiations.
Yeah, I'll tell her I
That sounds a
agree
good
that
plan to me.
town would be a good place. We'll go back, and it'll probably be a few days before we can get you guys together, because we've got to go back and forth. But she'll know, and soon.
I would recommend
Then we can leave.
just outside of town.
She says that She will bow to the greater judgment of such wise and wonderful lawgivers and stewards. Gag.
Please make sure she knows not to say that in town.
I think we can explain that along the way, yes. But I guess with that we can go back to town and
Alright.
Any
we're
issues
splitting
heading
the
back?
party. The exact specific thing I don't want you to do.
Well,
So-
we'll just all go together.
as the actual scene goes.
Diva and Gaith, Ryuko, are going to
Publish your way.
Cinder's place, where they will find Cinders.
We could just do their part and then do ours after. I mean, there's no.
That is
We don't need
exactly
to do them.
what I'm doing. That is genius, because that is what I'm doing.
You're a
So
smart
don't
one,
steal my
Oren.
thunder. I was gonna do that, and you can't steal my idea. Okay?
Nope, Oren's now. Oren's the genius.
No, it was my idea.
Nope. Now it's mine. You
Good
can't
work,
have it.
Oren.
Alright, well, you're out. Go away.
No,
Goodbye.
Oren's smarter than you.
You
You have
lose 10
You have to
XP.
bow to him.
No,
Over the internet.
not anybody. I'm the best.
Nope.
I'm
Around.
number one.
Nothing's ever gonna
I was
keep you
number
down.
one. I'm number one. Anyway, you go to Cinders. Talk to him.
Cinders, you aren't gonna like this, but
Such a great lead-in.
Look, you just whatever happens after this, he'll be pleasantly surprised.
things can only go up after you hear this news. So we talked to Sleet, and things kind of got
And you've killed her.
almost got messy. Almost got messy. She's kind of surrounded by people, and it'll be hard. But I'm not saying nothing. Just maybe if things go wrong. Anyway, so would you be interested in meeting in the middle of the city, or maybe next to it, or around it, and having a talk with her about trying to get this stuff in order?
That bitch! I knew she'd ask for something like that.
She'd asked to be reasonable. How terrible!
If we meet in the middle of the city,
It's like a Neverborn
She's-
Plus.
she's dragging mortals into issues that they shouldn't have to deal with, and trying to expose you to the governor. That sneaky bitch!
Well,
We have a man set out in the forest specifically for meetings like this.
Oh.
do.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
Stop it, Michael, you laugh like Jimmy Carter.
Okay.
Oh, I'm dying. I'm dead.
Okay. So the others
What?
probably aren't going to go for this. So I'll give you a signal if the plan is on, but otherwise don't go all out on this. But you send some of your guys there. I'm not saying anything. Just your strongest guys who could kick the most air elemental ass. And then we're going to go talk with her, and we're going to try and get the meeting moved over to there. It sounds like a smarter place.
As a gift sets up a war.
Fuck her. She just tried to fucking screw us, man.
Well, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
since I'm actually there, I'm gonna add
Diva's there,
that
yeah. Deep.
as far as I'm concerned, I don't know why this isn't necessarily something that the mortals shouldn't be concerned with, since it is their weather. But if there's a place that's designated for meetings like this, yeah, maybe we should go there.
And invite the
Cinder's
mortals.
just confirmed every concern I voiced.
Also, the thought occurs, Cinders probably does actually have more trouble not setting things on fire than she does not killing people through cold.
That's right. In town, it'd probably give more chances for him to look bad than her.
Yes, it probably does. And that's why I was saying outside of, but within sight of the town. Within sight of earlier.
Like Agathe's actively now openly trying to work towards getting these two to kill each other because
Yeah.
she does want the whole humans, the mortals, getting their whole fair say in things. They are the most important people in this. But she also really does not like being manipulated, so...
What I will note is, just as an observation, technically, if you destroyed every single elemental there, they just reform into new elementals that had no necessary ties to what they were before.
So you're
So,
saying
like,
It'd be a
here's-
completely new slate.
if we punch one of them hard enough, they might turn into a better person.
Yeah.
They might turn
Pretty
into
much-
like 8 different better persons. They'd just be an 8th as strong. Or you might like punch 2 fire elementals away and then get a stronger fire elemental. It's basically you punch them back into stuff that then reforms into other elementals.
So if you do
That
this
may or may
more,
not be
we
better.
might end up with something better. We may end up with something worse that's too strong to deal with.
And we run.
Yeah, you might accidentally create a lesser dragon. Let's be honest here.
That would
You
be
say that
within
like
the
it's a
range
bad
of
thing.
what we would probably do, but then Agath would probably try and ride it around. So we'd win
She'd
points
probably
at that point.
succeed. Let's be honest.
Hells yeah. Well, no, I
Do you
got
have any
no
points in
ride.
ride?
No. I will
No, but
buy
you could
some for that.
suplex it into you could suplex it into having ride with a specialty of being ridden. And it would be fine.
I could just imagine a Gaith going, okay, like, I made
Everybody
the law
takes
that
you more
created you,
seriously
so
when you're riding
technically
your
I'm
bike.
your mother. I want to ride you.
Awesome.
Look,
But I think we're done with the fire court for now. unless-
everything,
do you have anything else to add,
everything
Sam?
is. Everybody
I
takes
think
more
As you
seriously when you're
leave,
riding
he
your dragon.
shakes his fist and says, "Good. Now that the lawgivers are on my side, soon the cold months will be a thing of the past."
Still on board. Honestly,
For
he's
sakes, Sin.
he could be fucking now I must return to the kitten burning cave. And I would still be on his fucking side at this point.
Well, I'm concerned, and you'll probably hear that on our way back. But
Well, you're here to be the sensible one. Which you're doing a
Yep,
very good
actually-
job of, by the way, Vega. Just out of character, you're doing a very good job of being the neutral observer when you actually speak up, so you need to do that more.
it's just polite. Unless you don't want to speak up over a bunch of other people.
Nah, do it.
Way to not be a biased asshole. Impressive. That's why he's got 300 experience, and most of the rest of you have negative.
It's true.
But
I think I'm still positive.
Meanwhile, what's
you're
going on in
true.
town?
You never lost any.
No, I lost 10, but I gained 300, so.
Oh, I guess you are the positive.
I'm
When's
holding
your
neutral so
favorite
far.
piece of Shit.
But yes, back to town stuff then, or
Oh, okay, back to town.
let's
Oh,
break it to
presumably-
our poor official that we just maybe volunteered their town for the next site of the elemental wars.
Well, as soon as I get in contact with the others, I'll tell them, including telling whoever was the poor bastard that volunteered to stay behind and negotiate with the town for the meeting that they wasted their time, just to be a dick.
Actually, it's probably what I'll have Falcon note and add into it is we could still actually have the public go and watch that other meeting spot and still have the public there.
No, then they're gonna see me be a fucking dick.
Well, it depends on if you're already planned to actively have them kill each.
I told him if I do this with my hand, kill them all.
You did what?
It seems like Sin is just saying, no, Oren, don't make witnesses.
Exalted. This is all I'm gonna say.
Well, it depends. I will also say this though. Technically, it'd be a show of power, a demonstration of power.
Look, unless
front of the
you can
public,
convince
too.
them that Slate was totally armed with that knife beforehand.
I can't.
You'd
Now,
be
we
amazed
do
at
have
souls
party
you
members
can
who
do.
can.
Well,
I was like, maybe you could just sing a song about how much of an asshole Sleet was, and be like, oh, fuck that sweet bitch. Oh,
You can do that a
Just,
couple ways.
just
That's
start the
maybe-
next new pop hit single, Winter Sucks.
I feel like maybe we should bring the church. I feel like maybe we should bring the church in on this as representatives of the city god. That'll get the
I-
townspeople more cooperative
it's actually not a
Yeah.
in
bad
a
idea because
negotiation.
they are the most
between
competent
two
motherfuckers
assholes
in this
they don't
entire
like.
thing, including
I
us
really-
possibly.
I really do want to involve them in that. There is the slight issue that we really are setting up for, like, a Death Lord invasion or something happening during the middle of this, though.
It's really gonna be an elemental gang war. It's not that
Yeah,
bad.
alright, just hope for the best. This is Exalted. What could go wrong?
Oh, so much.
Well,
Don't
We will
say
do
it.
one
Don't
thing.
say
how
it.
to avoid
Google Drive?
Don't.
We will
don't
do
discuss
incredible.
it in public. It will give Maid ideas. Ideas she
I
can
was
use
like,
against
you
us.
hack,
us.
Want
like,
to
you hack my Google Drive. Because, I mean, I have it written in there that as soon as they make this stupid elemental gang war, the Master of Wonders kills them all. But, you know. And then we
If you
play,
want to
I don't know,
avoid a-
fucking Scion.
if you want to
And then
avoid
we
a Death
progress
Lord
into
invasion.
3rd edition.
Yeah, or we could all just roll abyssals and keep going.
Yeah, that's
If you
the
want to
way.
avoid a Death Lord invasion, then we have to do this inside the town, because I'm pretty sure the elementals will agree that they don't want a fucking Death Lord. They want to serve the public in their own way. Doesn't work if the public's
No, no, it's I and Seven
Zombies-
Despairs and not the mask. It's just really fashionable
zombies
now
don't
inside the
appreciate the
town
weather.
instead.
If it's an I in Seven Despairs invasion, I'm just saying I may betray you all.
Why?
Well, he's got the most
Ah.
swagger.
Yeah.
He's the fucking
Nope.
best.
Oh right, he's not really a Death Lord. He's more of a Pimp Lord.
He's fucking amazing. It's just all the powers of death. I'm just gonna use it to fuck with these people and fulfill my closeted desires about dressing up as a girl and having heterosexual sex.
I'm not even laughing at you, I'm laughing at this. So, I mean, whatever.
I think we deserve to be laughed at, Maid. I mean,
I will say that Skype turned out to be a very good decision today, I think.
I feel
Oh,
like
man.
we've gotten as little done as we did last time, but we've had more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten this little done in a different way. This is more the proper
Anyway,
socialized
anyway.
game
We got like
stuff.
2 meetings done. That's better than fucking usual.
You guys want to go talk to the church, right?
Yeah, we need to go let the town know
I do make
some
sure
of what we're doing.
I do
in
make
some
sure the
fashion or
others
another.
know about the whole she's trying to kill us
Soon
thing.
winter won't even be a thing.
Yeah, and he
you're
did
not gonna
kind
tell
of.
them that Cinders was like, soon it will be eternal summer and everyone will burn.
She doesn't say anything about the whole death plan thing, but she does eye a few nice summer pieces of clothing. And completely walk past a few winter ones.
Falcon's poor wardrobe.
You're a monster.
Well, I'm gonna at least make piles of social rolls to try to get them to actually agree to cooperate.
Yeah,
I haven't needed to
Who?
mention it, but I
Who,
think
the
if they
church people?
banded together, they'd have a better chance as joint rulers of a singular court than either of them have alone.
I think they've
Oh, by
proven
far.
they're
By
two
far.
dicks.
we're gonna find
It's
out
probably for the
once we get to the
negotiation.
bottom of this that Cinders hit on Sleet,
Sleet.
and that's really the root of their problem.
Ven is planning on how to put free
needs to
hunting in Sleet's domain on the table in the negotiations because she wants to be a polar bear and a penguin.
Oh no, do your wits plus survival rolls or some shit. You have a polar bear now. Fuck it.
just gank a polar bear on the way out.
You have a polar bear now. I don't care. You have a polar bear in your thing now. It's a regular bear, except it doesn't get cold.
And it's white.
If you want something from a winter Wonderland, you can have it too, Starf. Vega, you too. If you want to get a God of Hearts blood with
Penguin.
a fucking polar bear, you can have one too.
Penguin or killer whale. No other choice.
No, Arctic fox.
What's the stat? What's the stats for a polar bear? Like, appearance should be max because polar bears are awesome, but what's the other
I'm
ones?
pretty sure you could. I'm pretty sure you can find the stats for a bear in one of the books,
Yeah.
and you
They
I
should
think
be
it's in
able.
the back of Exalted Core.
They have the ability
Yeah.
to summon cans of Coke out of nowhere too, right? Am I thinking of a different kind of polar bear?
No,
Only
no, they
during
do. Yeah,
the air
that's
season.
it's a spell-like ability.
It costs 1 mote.
Yeah. It's a dick. Yeah, like I'll stat up coke as a drug. Don't fucking dare me, because I'll do it.
It wouldn't even be that difficult.
Then do it, bitch.
Ah.
I dare you.
Foxlet has not been able to find words in my Exalted Core book for like a week. Like, it can't find the
I'm
word
on
bear,
Animals are
and
in,
I
like,
know
the very
bear is
back
in.
for the index.
Maybe.
Oh my Jesus!
Maybe.
I
They
have
already
stats
have
for
Okay.
bear.
Tabletop, Exalted, errata books, Exalted Core, antagonists, fucking Beasts of Creation. Holy shit! There's a bear. How long did that take me? Like 15 seconds?
There might
If
actually
even-
even be some North
Oh, look,
specific
for
ones
what?
even.
Strength 7, Dexterity 2, South.
Stamina
I don't even know what you're
Stamina
looking at.
6,
If you want to look at my
Perception
character sheet, there's stats for a bear on it.
Intelligence 2,
Yeah, and
Willpower 2,
it'll
other
be the back of the
W3,
core book, Aaliyah.
Health level 0
Let me just write
times
the back.
2,
I think it's
1 times
the
3.
end of the antagonist chapter,
Ask,
which
Shatter,
Yeah.
I think
Bite
is
4,
4
6,
loot.
8, Claw 5, 7, Dodge 6, Bashing? Like, I mean... Wait, Dodge 6, Bashing? What?
What?
Yeah, it's probably not the altered ones that are actually correct. You might have to look in the
Athletics,
errata one.
The bear has athletics too.
Yeah, for climbing around and throwing logs at
seriously,
people.
Like, if you, I'm pretty sure I've given you the errata book and the bookmarked book. So like open the core book and look at Beasts of Creation. It's a bookmark in there.
I think the bear also has stealth.
Probably.
Does it have stealth?
One.
Oh my god, it has stealth
It's
1.
trained in stealth.
You see,
Oh my
No negative
God.
But a
penalty.
polar
bears in
bear,
the woods, you'd never know.
a polar bear should have stealth in Arctic environments because they know how to cover their nose to be completely white.
To be fair though, it only has dexterity 2, so it's like a 3 dice pool. It's not that great.
That
Like,
still means
it
it's
can
smarter than the average
attempt-
peasant.
It does, which is hilarious.
Until she gets hybrid body, and then she can grow a
It
polar
actually-
bear.
Oh my god, it has
fur.
intelligence 2.
It's in fact as smart as
actually
the
pretty
average
good.
peasant.
It is
Yeah.
as smart as an average human. You can teach a bear to read with relative ease without even using a survival charm. Oh my god.
Oh my god. But
They are
using a lore charm would be
Anything
fast.
that- Anathema does not have boxes for most of these stats on the animals.
What?
No, don't worry
What?
about it for now.
Anathema doesn't have boxes for stats? What?
Anathema
does
has
have
boxes for strength, dexterity, stamina, and appearance.
These are the only ones
In
that
your
change.
war
You use your own
form?
mental stats.
Yeah.
No, not in my war form, in Heart's Blood.
Does Anathema have heart's blood?
I
Oh
guess
my
it
God.
does.
Yeah, but
Oh
when you
my
turn into a
God.
bear, you have your mental stats, but the bear's
Yeah.
physical
Yeah,
ones.
you use your mental stats for the bears. Oh my god, it does have heart's blood stats. Oh my god! When did that happen? I've never seen that before.
I think the
But they-
only caveat is I think if your own stamina is higher, you use your soak numbers.
You
But-
do. You the only
It's your-
stat that if its stamina is higher than you use its higher stats, except dexterity. Dexterity is always yours or theirs, whichever is lower.
Hey, mate.
So if they have 5
on-
dexterity, what?
On
I must use the toilet.
intelligences,
I will return.
guess what has 3?
What?
Squid.
Why does the
They're
squid have
the
to be
smartest critters in the
intelligent?
ocean. Well, octopus.
How are they the smartest critters in the ocean? Whales eat
There's
them.
also Strix. Strix have it too, but yeah, and there's a
It's
few other
amazing
things
how
with
many
like
things are
two.
smarter than peasants.
I'm fine
Yeah,
with Strix having to be
Octopus don't
intelligent.
surprise me. They're pretty smart.
they are. And then like Simhadas have two, and Omen dogs have two. I was surprised the Rayetons had one, but oh well.
Oh my god, river dragons have 14 strength.
Yeah,
What the
they're a good
fuck?
choice for a punchy type.
What the fuck? They have 14 strength and 12 stamina.
What has
And
this
then
river dragons?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
river
yeah,
dragons.
but tyrant lizards have
Shit.
14. So do Yetums.
Yeah, tyrant lizards have 14 strength, 3 dexterity, and 12 stamina. What the fuck?
That's right.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a sacred hunt of T-Rex at some point.
Yep.
How come you could have
can you
taken
ever
it as
not?
part of your 3 free dots of heart's blood? It's your own
I'm
fault.
sorry, I
It
wimped
just
out.
takes a couple knacks to
Lunars,
be able to do
Lunars. Oh yeah, you need a knack to be a tyrant lizard, but you don't to be a river dragon.
Aren't river dragons still huge too?
I don't think it is. No, I think river dragons are within the size that the normal lunar can take. I don't think you need towering beast form to take it.
I just worked out when we should have solved this whole problem.
What?
Sleet kneeled in front of Asola. We should have taken the opportunity to just murk her while she was practically like defenseless for a second.
Oh no! Oh, no!
No.
No! She would have just been dematerialized.
you'd have to have a pretty good first hit.
Well, to be honest, if you fully isolated it, you probably could Alpha Strike her.
Yeah, it really would basically be we'd have to Alpha Strike her and kill her before she took an action.
But
I guess
the
if she
chance
kneeled in
of
front of
doing
Agatha, that could have happened.
Yes, but we would have had to plan it, and then you would have had like Agatha just like leering at Sleet with like her fists up and drooling and like I get to punch.
The radiation of murderous intent,
Oh
yeah.
my god, squids
Murderous
have 10
glee.
strength.
Yeah,
No one's allowed to be a squid.
tree squid.
Okay, I keep forgetting Agatha spells subtle with spray paint on the side of City Hall.
What were we doing?
I don't know. I'm gonna be right
City
back.
and or church, but it's also 9. Well, not 9, but
It's like 11 o'clock on my end, so
It's 11. We usually end in an hour, but if you guys want to end, we can. We actually got quite a lot accomplished though.
yeah.
But if we end
I
now,
can-
you won't get as much experience as I was going to give you.
Yeah, I can go on because I actually took the next day off anyway. But
uh,
How do you
I've
take
got work
days
tomorrow.
off? Oh,
I
do
worked
you wanna-
today I didn't need to and
it's
kind of
less of
earned
an issue.
something.
It's more the fact that the weather has been really bad out here.
You
do
need to
wanna
leave
stop?
early. That's right.
I
Stop. You want? Fine with it.
I
pretty
get
much
the
fucked
impression
this
the next
up by
scene
being
or two is going to
ridiculously
be.
hammered.
It might
I
be
get the
useful to
impression
do
the
like
next
some
scene
of
or
this
two
next
is
bit.
gonna. Yeah, it's true. It's
If,
more.
if it
on
helps
fact-
staff, this is actually a good stopping point.
It kind of is.
It just sounds like we're moving up on something that might take a little while.
If you want to stop, we can. Just say, hey, I think we need to stop. Like right now, say that exactly those words.
Yeah, I think we need to stop.
And also, Maid is the
Okay.
greatest and really wonderful, and I'm glad I'm her friend.
Maid really
Actually,
is.
that holds true.
This is pretty-
She's come through surprisingly well, despite having drunk terrible
This
beer.
is pretty good.
I'll
Yeah,
take
this
it.
is pretty good. I hope you're sober for the next.
Hey, you can fuck off. I can be as drunk as I want to. This is my game. And you can't complain because I'm giving you 6 experience. That's to
Yeah,
everybody.
Leaves
Except
us
Big if
at,
it gets like 600
20.
or some shit. No, yeah, seriously, you guys get 600. No, you get 6 experience for the You guys get 6 experience for the session.
Okay, back.
Kai Vega started with a bitch and ended the game.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
gotta sleep.
because he's a
Yeah,
bitch.
I'm gonna freeze to death tomorrow morning, and I want to